All right. Hello, everyone. Um, yeah, so it's been a bit, and well, these have kind of been, believe it or not, these have all been sitting here since the last time. So, if you need an idea of how long I've had this desk space occupied, just check how long the it's been since the last stream, and there's your answer. So, So yeah, I'm making the time to finally get back to this so that I can clean up all of this junk. I've got about 6 boxes left to go through. It's not a whole lot, so this might be a bit of a shorter one. It might not be a terrible thing though to get back into the swing of things with it, because as I have said before already, it's been a little bit, so it's good to be back. It's good to be back into it. So yeah, no, let's just get right into it. I've got one of 6 right here. One of the 6 that I've got left. We're just gonna pop that open, start opening things up, see what we get out of it. I think I've got most of the cool stuff already. Like as you can see right here, I've got the I pulled the Bochi SP. So can I get trying to get a good look at that actual foil stamp there. Where's the lighting at? There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. So that was a fantastic pull. That's one of the best pulls you can get out of the set. So that's awesome. So we got that, and then we got our 2. I think it's Kisoku Band rare is the rarity they're going with for these. So these are basically filling in for the regular SPs. I've got my is this still an SSP? Yeah, SSP. And then these guys are kind of filling in, as far as I can tell, for what would normally be SPs, which is awesome. I love those. So should be at least like one more of these in here somewhere. And I'm still hoping to get full playsets of all the box toppers too. I have way too many Kita. I have one Nichika and so many Kita. I've got a full set of Bochi though. So let me think. I have 6 boxes. Yeah, I don't think it's possible to get full playsets actually. of all the box toppers with what I've got left. But we'll see what comes out of it. Regardless, let's go ahead and pop into this one, see what is sitting right on top of you. Hopefully the mic is picking up all that lovely crinkling of packaging. And, oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Starting off strong. Finally, we have 2. I have half a playset now of Nichika. That makes me happy. That makes me really happy. If I at least get a full playset of her by the end, I will be quite amused. I need to see if I can sit in a better position. Hold up. Okay. I wish I had some place to set this box. But, yeah. Huh. I got an idea. Watch out for my Bochi Pippa. You can go there. Scoot. Aight, that ought to work. Alright. There we go. Let's see what we get out of this. Yeah, it's been way too long. Oh, I've got the Blu-ray set. I can't remember if that had already come out yet or not when this first came out. I'm sure I talked about it if it had. Ooh, there we go. But I've got the Blu-ray set for the series sitting right next to me. I've got volumes 1 and 2 of the manga. I don't know if volume 3 came out in English yet or not. So I am waiting on that. I'll have to pull that up if it hasn't. Or figure out if... I need to pull it up to figure out if it has or not yet. That is what I was trying to say. So, if it has, I need to go snag that. You go over here. You are up here. Where did I put everything? There you are. Now I gotta remember how I organized everything too. Whoops. How I organized. It's not really organized yet, is it? It's just piles upon piles of stuff. I am mildly scared. No, I should be okay. I have 2 storage boxes for all this, just because it's a lot. I mean, look at this. This is just, if I can pick this up safely, just Bochi alone. And remember, we've still got 6 boxes to get through still. That's just Bochi. Bochi has the most cards, mind you. Well, so that's the biggest stack? But that's still just Bochi. It's absurd. So, yeah, that's gonna it's gonna take a while to it's gonna take a good bit of shelf space. It's gonna take a little bit of a while to sort too, but more importantly, it's gonna be a good bit of shelf space that's gonna eat up, unfortunately. Ooh, I gotta show off what I got too, because I am a fool. So of course I bought more Warhammer stuff I shouldn't be buying. I got Saint Celestine finally, which means that'll have to be a build stream eventually. Oh, that's so pretty. Good stuff. All right. Oh, I got to get back to all those other sisters too. Come to think of it, I've got the combat patrol still left unbuilt. Hey, now might be a really good time to break into that stuff again. Actually, with Space Marine 2 doing well. I don't know how much there is to talk about specifically Bochi. I feel like it's been thoroughly dissected at this point. It's a good series, but especially with only having 1 season at the moment, I really hope we get a season 2 though. So season 1 kind of only covered content that was in volume 1 of the manga, right? So season 2, like there's so much more to go with. There's so much more there to get into with season 2 and whatnot. I'm super excited for that to happen. I'm hoping it'll happen. I should say, rather than I'm super excited for it to happen, since they haven't announced anything yet. I'm really hoping we get more stuff moving forward. So I'm really hoping we get season 2. And I'm hoping once we get season 2, we get to... Oh, you know what? I hope if we get a season 2 that we're going to get another album as well to go with it. Because I have that. I have the Kisoku Band album 1 for season 1. Ooh, oh. All right. I love her tier. Her 1 tier is foil. That's wonderful. I love that. That's good. I'm still gonna have to read through. Maybe I should do a deck building stream too for this as well. Ooh, excuse me. That might have to be. Let me rephrase that. That's gonna have to be a different day. But I do want to build a Nijika waifu deck. My plan is to have 2 decks essentially. One that's normal, like an actual proper. I don't know if competitive's the right word. I'm pretty sure this is a set that isn't like meta defining, but a proper competitive deck, as well as a Nijika waifu deck, partially born from pettiness. However, I digress. I still need to finish my Nendroid set too. You can see I'm here a little bit. I'm scared to. I'm scared to like touch them a whole bunch because, as you see with this, even like the symbols love to fall over. the cymbals absolutely love to fall over. So I'm so hesitant to put my hands, like, touch everything without being, like, really delicate about it. But, you know, I've got Bochi, I've got Nichika, I've got Rio. I never got Kita. And I really need to fix that. I've just kind of not felt, you know, I've spent money on other things and haven't felt in a good position to actually drop the money. It shouldn't be too much. I hope she hasn't, like, jumped in price or anything, but she was like 40. The 40 is like the release price. So, with any luck, oh, I'm happy. I'm very happy. Oh, that makes me very happy. This is one of the ones I'd been waiting for. I really hoped I would look at her face. I love Nijika. Anyways, I was very much hoping I would pull this one. The triple rare. Oh, that's not a triple rare at all. That's a. I don't know what rarity that is. I'm actually not sure what that is. Um, Normally this I would expect this to be a triple rare, but it's got a different rarity tag on it that I don't recognize. Regardless, this is one of the ones I was really hoping to get a hold of. It's borderless. I just noticed. Borderless is kind of funny with these. I'm gonna pull out one of these other guys here. All right, there's the regular rarity one. See, so right, these are the same ones, right? Yes, they are. So the regular rarity next to these. Borderless for these means a lot less because you can see it's such a small border at the bottom there anyway. So compared to, like, say, magic cards or something like that, when they do like when Pokemon does borderless, that means a lot more than when they do borderless here. But I still really like it. It's still really cool. Oh, there we go. But yeah, so I'm very happy to have this. This is one of the ones I was really hoping to get a hold of. And there we go. Now I don't have to track one down and buy it. I might do it anyway so that I can have a full playset. However, track down another 3. I'm still really happy about that, though. That was a good pack. That was a Nijika pack, clearly. Pack said, oops, all Nijika. It's because I was talking about building a waifu deck, I bet. Okay, to be fair, that's technically an even split Nijika Bochi, but still. That makes me happy. Alright. Bochi's fantastic. I need to start practicing my guitar again. I kind of got lazy with it. It's tricky finding the right time to kind of do it. I also need to pick up a better amp still. Because it's... I have like 5 or 6 amps floating around, and none of them are good. I've got, like, okay amps at best. I see shine. Oh. The result is my tone is meh, and I wish I had a better tone. It is admittedly hurting my desire to practice a little bit because it just doesn't sound good. And some of that's even like my picking and whatnot is not great. I love the foil on that. I'm trying to make sure I can get a good look at that. She's got like God rays coming off of her in the foil. That's so much fun. All right. But yeah, I really need to just kind of suck it up and practice because right now I'm not doing enough with it. I'm not really growing as a guitarist, and that's no good. That's no good at all. So I really need to be getting on that. The poor thing's sitting right here, too. Now, unlike Bochi, though, mine is a Fender. Rather than her 1968 Les Paul Custom, which is about a $3,000 guitar. And I want one. Where does this go? Where does this go? Does this go here? Yes, it does. Okay. There we go. I did go through and sort some of these a little bit, so now I'm going to have to resort everything. Then I'm finally opening things again. The character piles I didn't, but some of these smaller ones, like this was semi-sorted. These I did go through and sort, so now they're going to be a little bit messed up, which is fine. This is what I expected. I already knew I was going to have to do that. All right, next pack. What else interesting? I got my Gura Figma too. You can see her feet there at the top of the camera. I might grab her in a second and show her off. I'm really happy. I've been waiting for that to come in for a while now. Hooray! Long-standing pre-orders. I wish I'd pre-ordered Kita as well, but I missed that one. Van Gogh Bochi. Oh, that's cute. You know what? That kind of matches my acrylic over here. What? Yeah! Oh no. Yeah, so I may have a fair bit of Bochi merch. If that wasn't apparent. My gig bag is covered in well, covered is an exaggeration. I also have Bochi pins on my gig bag. I've got pins of all four of them, and then I've got a phone charm? Is it a phone charm or a keychain technically? Now I have to check this. Let me see. Are you a phone charm or a keychain? Or are you both? You're both. You have both on you. Got you. Anyway, I've got Bochi. It's one of the hanging Bochis. Or like the hanging charms, right? But I've got her dangling from the zipper of my gig bag. Which is pretty fun. I mean, it doesn't go out anywhere with me because I don't play yet, and I gotta fix that. But, you know, we'll get there. We'll get there. It's a process. It is a long and arduous process that, as I already said, I am not putting enough work into. Eventually. Eventually. I really do want to do guitar-based stuff on the channel, too, though. Like, at some point, I really wanted to do, like, my practices. My, like, just routine practices and whatnot on the channel as live streams. To kind of document the process, so to speak, as well as to kind of, how do I put it exactly? To give this sort of, I guess to have something out there for people who are also starting out to see other people who aren't there yet, if that makes sense. Because most of the people out here who do content, it's already... That is a character, okay. You know, they're already well established, they know what they're doing. Most people aren't gonna start a YouTube channel. Well, I guess I'm not starting a YouTube channel dedicated to music anyway, right? But most people aren't going to start a YouTube channel dedicated to music when they can't actually, you know, make music. So I think it'd be interesting to have that little bit of little over here. There you go. A little something just to keep people's spirits up, so to speak, I guess. Especially if we can have that documentation of that journey at that point, I think that'd be really interesting. Also, it encourages me to actually do my stuff. making it as content so that I'm doing streams, I am practicing guitar, I'm getting two birds knocked out with one stone, encouraging myself to do both at the same time. But I gotta figure out how to set that up too. I've got ideas, and I should probably get some sort of. Well, I can do a lot of sound mixing in OBS itself, but yeah, I'll have to think about it because I don't have like right now I don't have like a ton of capture equipment or anything like that, right? I've got or sound equipment, I mean, rather than capture equipment. What I've got is I've just got a what do you call them? A digital mic plugged in. It's just a USB mic, and nothing fancy or anything. So to really start doing stuff with the guitar, I probably should plug in or get myself a what do you call it? Is it a sound card? I'm not sure. It's not a sound card. What is it called? I don't remember what it's called now. But basically, the block that you plug the stuff into. I cannot remember what it's called. Is it a converter? Huh. Audio interface. I think it's just an audio interface. I think that's what I'm thinking of. I'll figure that out later. But yeah, I need to get the audio interface. I think I should do that if I want to do stuff with my guitar. Just that I can have, the several mics. Well, actually, I don't even own several mics. That's another problem. Because my thought process is have one mic for. Well, that might not work, actually. My original thought is have one mic plugged in for my voice, and then another mic set in front of the amp, which I've seen that kind of thing done before, where they literally just mic the amp, right? But I would, in that setup, still have to mute my mic, I think. Because that's not going to be, like, super quiet, exactly. So that's still going to be picked up on my mic. The amp, I mean. Most likely. Which means I should... I don't like the way that's glaring off of that card. Yeah, I don't think I can fix that, unfortunately. That's a ceiling light. Oh boy. Oh well. Yeah, I'd probably have to mute my mic when actually playing. Well, I mute the mic while playing, unmute it while not, and it shouldn't be a problem. I'll have to experiment with it. I'll have to look into how other people do recordings for that sort of thing as well. Because obviously people that have actually done this stuff are a much better source to go to. Just by nature of they actually know what they're doing. Unsurprisingly, I don't. I haven't messed with it yet at all. I do want to upgrade my sound equipment regardless, though. I would like to have a proper audio interface and everything. Because, like, I don't disagree that they're better, but, well, I mean, quite frankly, I didn't pay for the one I'm using. I was lent this, so, yeah, free USB mic is definitely... I think that's that pile. Yes, it is. Okay. Free USB mic is definitely a boon over spending, what, $400 to get an audio setup done with a real mic and audio interface. They're going to be like around, what, $200 a piece a lot of the time. So, I will take the mic I did not pay for in the meantime while I save up the $400 or so for the correct audio setup. But I'll be working towards that. I'll be working towards that for sure. It is kind of... I consider it important. I don't know how good this one sounds. Probably not great. I have to mess with this one actually when I do my GBO2 stuff because it always comes in a little bit too quiet. So I am worried about that even here with it coming in. I'm not sure how loud it's coming in, how quiet it's coming in. Hopefully it's legible. GBO2. Poor Bochi. I think that's right before she just face plants. Ooh. And this is why we don't stage dive at high school shows. Or maybe this is why we do stage dive at high school shows. Hmm. To go over here. To go over here. Up. And... oh my gosh. Okay, hold up. Let me put that down, and then I'll try and fix this. It's leaning. Wish I could make them neater, but we'll wait till we're actually organizing things to try and make things neater. I'm probably gonna start with all these things, get these off to the side and whatnot. I gotta think a bit about how I want to actually properly organize everything. Still by character for sure. And probably by color as well. It's probably not going to work if I stick with character, actually. Character... well, character, color within character, and then level. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to go with. So that'll be fun. I actually enjoy sorting my cards. It ends up being a big time sink a lot of the times. Because I'll just... oh, wait, these are in the wrong spot. Whoops. You two, go here. That was dumb. Alright. Kitas go here. Butchers go here. We've got you. And we've got... well, you go over here. There you are. Futari. Futari goes there. Wow. Yeah, I don't see a whole lot of talk about Butchie anymore, I don't think. That's kind of not even surprising, honestly. I think people kind of watched it, and that was kind of it. I know it was super popular when it came out and all, but, like... I mean, once you watch the whole thing, you know, you watch the whole thing, and that's all there is to it, I guess, you know? I still love the series, clearly. It's one of my favorites. Thus why I've picked up the Blu-ray and the manga volumes. I still want to. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but I'm still planning on going and picking up the Japanese volumes of the manga as well. I wouldn't actually be able to read them, but I kind of want to try and use them to some degree as a study tool as well. Yeah, that is a lot of cards. Also, hi, Nani. Yeah, I'm not quite done with them either. So I got, let me see, most of this box done now. Most of this box is good, is finished, right? And then I've got 5 other boxes outside of that. We're polishing off the case. So I've got, but yeah, most of the case is already open. So this is most... you should see them on the side. Give me a second. Let me put these down, and then I will tilt this over for you so you can see how tall that is. I am so glad I went out and bought 2 whole boxes to sort these into once I'm done, because I would not have space otherwise. One set boost. One. Yeah. I am able to speak. I swear. My native language is definitely English. All right. Got tempted to buy One Piece booster set, but it was 170. 170 for what? Like a box? Because that's a yeah, that is a bit that is a bit pricey. 24 pack box. Let me see. I don't remember what these are, but yeah, that is a bit yeah, that's rough. I don't like that. I haven't really looked into the pricing and whatnot for the One Piece stuff. Give me a minute. Let me see what was the count on these boxes. 16 packs. Okay. So these are 16 packs each. Yes, that's at least a little bit more than each of these. I think these go for what, around like $90 typically per box. So 16. It's something like that. Yeah, it'll vary a little bit based on who you're buying from too. Like for instance, if you maybe I shouldn't slander other card stores. Never mind. I'm gonna not slander card stores while live. I kind of want to, but you know, the community's small enough as it is. I'll maybe I'll save that for another time. Oh, you should see the card I just pulled. Let me put these all down and then I'm gonna pull it out. I'm so happy. I got the alt rarity climax I wanted. A lot of shiny One Piece cards fetch in the hundreds per card. So I guess that's why the set boxes are so expensive. Probably not. It's probably just price hiking. Typically the rarities don't have. Oh wait, that goes over here. There we go. Look at my girl. There she is. I love her. Anyways, let's put her over there where she belongs. Yeah, I've heard people talk about that though with the One Piece card game, the prices being really steep. I haven't. Wait. Oh no. Wait. I think I've messed up my sorting. Ah. One moment. Yes. You go here. You go here. There we go. Okay. Booster set boxes. Keep forgetting set boxes are also a thing. Um. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how One Piece's structure set up. Honestly. Check this out. I think it's this stack. Yeah, it's this stack. I'm very happy. I got I got the alt. I got the alt for Nijika. He's shiny. Like pre-made set boxes. Okay. There's the standard rarity. So I'm really happy. That's the one I was really hoping to pull from the case. So I'm quite happy about that. And then the box topper for this one was another Nijika too. So now I've got two. I need two more, and then I'll have a full set. I've got some of the. Do I have some of or like one of? Technically one of. The One Piece game, I got two of the starter deck for what is your name again? Yamato. So I've got that at least. That's something. But that's all I have for it. It's a neat system. But I just don't want to invest in another card game. Oh gosh, how much is the monk? Is 3K? Okay, nice. I was about to say, like, okay, I have higher value sitting right here, but not in a single card. Well, okay, I shouldn't say that necessarily. I haven't checked the price recently, but these two were at least 2K each. So if the prices haven't shifted too down since then, that's at least 4K right there within those two. But I also haven't checked that in a while. I checked that back when I pulled this, so I have no idea what the prices look like now. They could have gone anywhere. And again, same with this. This one's been out for a while, so that could have gone up or down. Regardless, these were really good pulls. These were fantastic pulls. Yeah. Go through and price your One Piece cards. Have anything of yeah. Yeah, sign cards are great. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm really annoyed with the Guilty Gear cards because they don't have signatures on their SPs. Their SPs suck. They've got like a different border and that's it. But yeah, you probably should do that. At least for some of the higher rarity stuff. Typically, commons are worth garbage for most things. I'm not really sure what One Pieces look like, but typically your commons are going to be worth a couple of cents. But any of the higher stuff is, you know, a mixed bag. You know, some of it will be a couple cents, some of it will be like $30, depending on what it is. Yu-Gi-Oh has expensive commons. I don't know about commons. I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh's commons tend to get too expensive. But Yu-Gi-Oh is also really obnoxious with its rarities in general. So Pokemon. I have no idea about Pokemon. Oh, Lorcana is nasty. Lorcana has some really expensive commons. Um, yeah, I haven't. I guess to be fair, I haven't really looked too much at Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. I have like my couple things I like and don't really look at it outside of that. But for the most part, their commons don't seem to be the problem. The problem is more so that you can't build your deck without like a secret rare. And then that secret rare is a couple $100 card. So your commons might not be too hard to get a hold of, but everything else will be. Trying to build, what was it, Centurion was a pain. I still haven't gotten it built properly, partially because everybody quit playing, so now it's not worth building. But the Centurion cards, when I was trying to put that together, they were all ultimate rares from the set. So ultimate rares, you get, I think it's 4 per box. Most, if not every single card for the Centurions were ultimate rares, and there were also like 2 or 3 other archetypes in the same thing that also had their ultimate rares. So you're pulling out of a box where I think there was at least 4 different ultimate rares I needed, all at like 3 of. So already I'm looking at multiple boxes just to get into the ultimate rare numbers that I'm looking for, and they could not even be what I'm looking for because there's other sets in there. It wasn't fun. But I did pull some very valuable cards in the process, so that's pretty awesome. Technically, I probably could put that deck together now and have it run, but I'd still be missing pieces to it technically. Because now I at least have one of everything. I've got 2 of a lot of the other things. But yeah, no, Yu-Gi-Oh sucks. Trying to get your cards for Yu-Gi-Oh is a pain. And that set wasn't even an expensive set either. My stuff was like 30 to 40 bucks instead of like the 200 that some of them get into. It's absurd. You like owning valuable cards, knowing I'll never sell them? It feels nice to just have them. Yeah, same. See my Bochi SSP and Ina SSP? Again, these are like $2,000 cards, but am I gonna sell them? No, never. I still want the Mume SSP. That was like a 400 at the time, but again, I haven't looked at it in a while. I don't know where the current prices are sitting at. I like being able to brag about it, but I don't want to sell them. I like having my shiny cards. This is the biggest reason I buy the cases, is for the couple $1,000 cards. Because I'm not paying $2,000 on one card. But if I pay $1,000 on a box of cards, get all this, and also cards worth more than what I spent on all of them together, absolutely worth it. Let me see. A rare card from some Japanese anime TCG with a stamped SIG that's worth a few $100 on eBay, but it's also my waifu. Nice. Nice, nice. Those are always the best ones. Well, I think they're the best ones anyway. I actually really want the, speaking of which, I want Nijika's SP. That one wasn't too much either. I forget what it was now, though. And once again, I reiterate, I haven't looked in a while. Oh, I was going to show off the stack, too. 1 second. Yeah! Look at that stack. And we're still working through it. And that's just Bochi. That's only Bochi. Needless to say, I'm good on commons. I have commons for days. As far as commons are concerned, I have enough to burn for kindling. They are worthless. But I can pretty much promise you, like, my double rares and whatnot, I'm not going to have extras of any of those. If I even have full playsets. I should have full playsets of all of them, but I'm not going to have extras. Twice the size of the entire One Piece collection. Nice. Yeah, see, the difference there is I'm assuming you didn't spend, what was it, $1,200 on just this set alone. These aren't cheap. These cases are not cheap. I had to save up. I had to save to get my hands on these. Like, oof. That put a good dent for like a month after that purchase. Oh, and of course they announced the Blue Archive set for English, and that's another case. Just by boosters when the Kawaii shop in the mall has them. Yeah, that's perfectly acceptable. I feel so bad for them because I clean them out as soon as they are stocked. I'm sure they don't mind actually moving product. Especially if it's something, if it's something that, like, doesn't move so much, I can pretty much promise you that they are glad to have it actually moving. If we had people that came in and cleared out my game store, if we had people that actually came and cleaned out their stock of things, they would not have stopped carrying Weiss. Oh, the One Piece cards move fast? Well, then in that case, buy them up anyway so that you actually get a hold of them. That is fair. The One Piece game seems to be doing really well. It's current hot cards. It's definitely not, people are definitely buying them. The One Piece is the one that's really up there right now, though, is, from what I can tell, Lorcana. Probably, though, just because it's Disney, honestly. Scout market for One Piece specifically? Yeah, I can believe it. Oh, that's the end of that box. How do I put how I feel about Lorcana? Here's how I feel about Lorcana, right? Shadowverse is the exact same thing and has better theming to it. Blech. That sentence came out very eloquently. So, why would I play Lorcana, which costs twice as much? That's my opinion of Lorcana. I really don't care about redesigned Mickey Mouse. I like Mickey Mouse, but I don't like Disney's marketing strategies these days, and trading card games are a scam. Just in general, all of them are. So when Disney comes in and goes, hey, we're making a trading card game, I go, oh, Disney is getting in on another scam market. I'm not giving them money for that. They don't need that. They don't have an IP that lends itself to trading card game. And I don't like the thematic elements because I don't like the concept of building lore. I don't even know what that means. What is lore? Finally, I have a Rio. This is the first one I have pulled as a box topper this entire time. Oh, cool. We are going to put you on the stack. Yeah, we finally have a Rio box topper promo. One singular. Look at all my Kita. I have two. Oh, I don't have two full playsets yet. I almost have two full playsets of Kita. You totally should. It'd be a lot of fun. It's fun to sort through cards and price things out, maybe. Oh, we. I read that as I. Yeah, we should totally do that. That'd be awesome. That requires a trip down to you, though. Again, which, you know what? That's not a problem. Why am I saying that like that's a problem? Well, it just means scheduling, I guess. Regardless, we'll figure it out. That sounds like a lot of fun. I don't have a whole lot myself, so we probably can't actually play a game, but I would be happy to go through it. Oh, webcams work too, but that, you know, it's less fun. We like the tactile element. Have I ever mentioned that I hate card sleeves because I like the texture of cards as they are, but I hate not using card sleeves because it destroys, you know, my cards, and I don't like that. It's the autism struggle. It's very real. We're just appreciating Bochi being a failure, by the way. Anyway, let's put that where it belongs, in the disgraceful history pile with the rest of them. Okay. That is the name of that card, and it has different art. It has a bunch of different artworks. It's wonderful. The only Rio from the stack. You go over here. Oh, we also pulled the shiny Rio. Can't shuffle without sleeves. Well, I can, but can't shuffle without damaging cards without sleeves. We got a shiny Rio. Let me go dig it up for you real quick. She got God Rays. Let me make sure I can get that captured on the. Thank you for. She's got God Rays. I really like this foil. I think it's great. My favorite one, I already showed you my favorite one. My favorite one is definitely still the Nijika Climax. Like that's just a lovely card in general. And it's a cool foil. It's not as cool as the Rio, I think. Yeah, because it's still a really cool foil. It's got a cool like crisscross pattern to it. It's a little tricky for me to catch on the camera. There you go. See that? Almost reminds me of denim. It's very nice, but I love the God Rays off of the Rio. But yeah, that shot and everything, and it complements the regular one so nicely. I actually love having these side by side, just having them be different shots like that. They're wonderful, absolutely wonderful. It's like a fabric texture, yeah. It looks really nice. Again, a little bit tricky to capture on camera, but it does look nice. Also, I got Goob. You can see Goob's feet. See Goob's feet? There she is. Yay! Camera. There we go. Yay! I love Bloop. Bloop is wonderful. Look at him. He's got his little ball. He looks like he's in a hamster ball. Okay, you go back over in your corner. All right. There we go. Next pack. I'm hoping we pull more of these guys. Again, I don't remember the name of the rarity, but they're essentially standing in for the SPs. Yoink. What we got? There should still be a couple more in the case, but I don't know where. So we will find them. This was a. Ooh, wow. Okay, wait. This was just a Nijika pack. Look at that. Or sorry, not Nijika. I should kill myself. Anyways, this is just a Kita pack. Look at that. Look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and her climax. I can see what this case wants me to play, and I will not be playing it because Keitha is the favorite, and therefore I, as a contrarian, am legally obligated to like her least because she is everyone's favorite. That is how that works. Mm-hmm. When you see the four-figure card come out of one of those. I think that's the best you're gonna get. That was the most expensive one from the set. Yeah, typically I don't see things go too much over like 2K most of the time. I want to say there is a Roxy, I believe her name is, from Mushoku Tensei that went to like 3 or 4K, but that was the most expensive one yay. That was the most expensive one I've seen. Um and it was for very specific reasons that had nothing to do with gameplay, by the way. Obviously. Gosh, okay, you know what sucks? You know what's terrible depending on who you are, and if you're me, I think it's stupid and it makes me disappointed, right? So there's a Nikkei set coming out, right? There's a Nikkei set coming out. And I'm told they're promos, which I'm happy about because it means that they're not going to be the majority of the actual set. But there's a set of cards for the characters that has them. Oh, so Nikkei plays like a rail shooter kinda, and the girls are sitting behind cover, and they pop out of cover, and they're facing away from you, right? And this is an excuse for them to just stick their butts in your face. And there's a set of cards for the Nikkei set that use those sprites of them sticking their butt in your face. And it's just I'm not even surprised, I'm just disappointed. Yeah, butt cards. Yeah, I'll show you later cuz I could pull them up on here. I don't feel like dealing with figuring out how to make that work. So I'm not gonna, but I'll send them to you later. They really disappoint me. Let me see. One Piece manga cards fetch some high prices, and I wanted to buy. They have boxes called treasure boxes that I wanted to get my hands on because they just have a lot of rares for some reason, but they're sold out everywhere. Yeah, that checks out. I did get. I remember they did a like a set. It was it was the gum gum fruit. I don't know if that's the same thing as what you're talking about or not. That kind of sounds like how they do collector's rares for Magic, which are scam, but I digress. Um, or collector's boosters, I mean. But they had a like box that was like a plastic gum gum fruit that you popped it open and it had cards in it. I have no idea if they're good or worth anything. Ooh, I wasn't expecting that. Shiny. That's great. I love that. That's a really cool texture. Bleh. Typical box with a few boosters in it from popular sets, but everyone I've seen open them pulls big rares. Ah, okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I guess that's not really like how they do the collector's boosters for Magic. Regardless, I have a plastic gum gum fruit was part of the point of that story that I didn't quite finish. It's in the other room. I could probably go grab it actually. Big ol' stupid gum gum fruit shaped container that's not even good for anything because it was designed to fit like a booster pack. Let me get through this box and then I'll go grab it. You love to have a gum gum. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I will be completely bluntly honest. I bought it for the Gum Gum Fruit. I don't play the One Piece game. I purely bought it for the Gum Gum Fruit. And I regret nothing. Just add it to all the trash. Yeah, it's a mood. That is a big mood, unfortunately. I have too much stuff. Doesn't mean I'm getting rid of anything, to be very clear. It just means there's too much of it. What it really means is I need to buy a bigger house. Oh gosh, I'm picking up habits. I'm picking up vocal tics, and I'm trying to repress them. I am trying desperately to repress the urge to go, Hoarder mentality, it really is. It's bad. It could be worse, but it's still not good. Also, I need to start doing this. You know, Nijika has her little polka dot ribbon bandana thing that she has always. Yeah, I need to start doing. I actually used. This might be part of why I like Nijika so much, actually. It totally is. I used to do that. I had a bandana that I used to always wear, either like on my wrist or on my arm or like as like a neckerchief or something. And it's disappeared at this point, unfortunately. It was, I think I've had a couple I've done that with actually, but the one I carried around the most was a red one that had first aid info printed on it. So it had all of your basic first aid stuff from like cuts to like dealing with splinters to making a oh, what's it called? Making a splint, all that kind of stuff. Dealing with stings, bites, stuff like that. So it was fantastic bandana. I love that thing. I got that when I was doing Boy Scouts, right? So in that period of time, I had that and I did that. So, and I miss that, and I need to go back to that. Especially if I start actually playing guitar. I am going to build my rocker persona, and the only thing that can stop me from doing that is my ability to actually play guitar. Yeah, I can't really be a guitarist if I can't play the guitar. That's kind of a... That's a bit of a barrier to entry. Just a bit. Ichika. I also like her because she's the drummer, and I like drums. I actually want to get... I want a drum set, but they are loud and they take up a lot of space. I have nowhere to put one, and I... Yeah, just... Yeah. Yeah. I can't get away with that. I did consider... I've been considering, and again, the space to put one problem still remains, but I've been considering picking up a digital drum kit. I don't want one. I don't want one at all. But it would deal with the sound problem because I could be able to just plug in a set of headphones to it. And so at the very least it would kill the sound problems while giving me something to practice with to kind of learn on to a certain degree. But yeah, I would rather have a real drum kit. I don't like using digital stuff too much. Look at her face. Look at that unamused. Unamused expression. That quote goes with that climax too, come to think of it. That's awesome. Ooh. I'm on my second box right now, I think. We still got a bit to go. Yeah. It's good stuff. Okay. I am gonna finish the box before I go grab my gum fruit. Hopefully it's not in a stupid place and I'll actually like walk into the other room and actually find it. Because I would rather, not spend a considerable chunk of time away from the camera looking for a plastic gum fruit. If I can't find it, I'll just show it off later once I have the time to search for it. But yeah, I'll polish off this box. Made Nijika. Can you believe there are people who don't like Nijika? These people are wrong, and they have opinions that don't matter. Yeah, I can send it in the Discord later, but I could also show it off on stream. So yeah, I'll take a quick look, and if I don't find it, I'll just show it off on Discord later. If I can find it, I'll show it off. But if not, yeah, not a big deal. You go there. Yeah, I know someone who doesn't care for Nijika, is weirdly militant about his lack of care for Nijika, but it's okay because he likes Oshinoko, so I can tell him that he likes an incest anime, and then I win. So and then he tells me it's not an incest anime, and I go, literally the manga, everything about it is building to the moment where she's like, never mind. What do you mean, yes, and? He denies that it's an incest anime. Like, look, if he had the fortitude to go yes and when I bring that up, then I would go, okay, I don't have a point. But he argues with me about it, and I'm like, no, this entire thing is built towards the reveal of them being the reincarnations of the souls of past lovers. Yeah, you can say it, that's fine, but I'm also not coming at you for hatred of Nijika either. I don't need to mock you for your tastes in Oshinoko. Oh, but I will say, Oshinoko doesn't do a single thing that Perfect Blue didn't do way better in the 90s. So, in terms of it supposedly being a subversion of, like, entertainment industry, it's not. It is not a commentary on the entertainment industry. It is a incest story. That's it. You know, Perfect Blue was a better commentary in the 90s. And you know what helped Perfect Blue? The fact that it was an OVA from the 90s, which meant it didn't have to lean in to all of the marketing stuff that they have to do to make back the production money from the anime series. So they don't have to do pop-up cafes for it, which ultimately undermine its whole point of being a criticism of the entertainment industry, which it's not anyway, by leaning into the same marketing gimmicks that entertainment industry relies on. I don't care for Oshinoko. I don't know if that's been obvious yet. I really think it is super mid and is not the commentary people pretend it is. It has one good commentary episode. It's the first one. That's it. You don't watch anime. Somehow I doubt that. You have an entire collection of Yui figures. I think you need to amend that statement. Oh, also, Lycra's Recoil didn't do anything that Gunslinger Girl didn't do better. But my Yuri! Well, that's not the point of the show anyway, so... I hate Lycra's Recoil. I think it's boring. It spends half the show being stupid Yuri bait, when it's not even a Yuri, it's Yuri bait. Right? It pretends to be Yuri. And does that for like half of the show. When ultimately it's brainwashed children working as assassins for the government. But we're not going to focus on that. No, that doesn't matter at all. We're just going to focus on the fake Yuri. Because fake Yuri sells better. Gunslinger Girl's a better show. Gunslinger Girl's fantastic, actually. What can I attack next that's really popular? Witch from Mercury. Witch from Mercury's mid. Witch from Mercury didn't do anything, that École du Ciel didn't do better. Unfortunately, École du Ciel also was a never finished project and doesn't have an anime adaptation. It's a manga. Oh, right, except École du Ciel isn't Yuri, which is the only reason that Witch from Mercury is popular anyway. It's not a good Gundam series. Mangoes. We like Mango Box. The pilot was good. Witch from Mercury had a really good pilot. Blech. Yeah, I don't even know why the series is as popular as it is. Although I will say, you know what? There is something that Witch from Mercury did that was really good. It got people to watch the original Gundam. I saw a lot of people that got into Witch from Mercury and from there went into actually watching a lot of the older stuff and whatnot. And that's fantastic. I like seeing that. I don't like Witch from Mercury. I think it's stupid, but it got people into Gundam, and that's awesome. Let's not drop those. That'd be nice. I do have the aerial floating around. I'll have to build that at some point. I found them at Target, so I snagged them because they were really tricky to get a hold of for a while. They were being scalped up like mad. So when I saw them, I grabbed myself one and then one for a friend of mine who did actually like the series. Because he was looking to get his hands on one too. So it's like, hey, look, they have some. Do you want me to grab one for you? So I have that. Yes! Oh, the best one to get an alt rarity for. Let's go. I couldn't be happier. Come on, focus, please. There we go. Thank you, camera. Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, and of course, oh no, it's gonna run away from me, but we got Nichika Climax as well. Let's go. You go here. You go here. You go Slavia. Okay. There we go. You should watch Gunslinger Girl, by the way. It's really good. It's fantastic. It's one of my favorites. I wish more people would watch it. I've had a really hard time getting people to actually watch really anything, but like, you know, Gunslinger Girl is one of those. You know, it's actually a good series, which means nobody's willing to watch it. Actually, I can't get some people to watch it because they're like, you know, I don't want to be depressed, and I'm like, while you're valid, you're also not. Go get depressed. It's a good show. uh yeah, it's why it's good. It's depressing. Well, I guess it being depressing is not why it's a good show. It's a good anime. You know it's not good though? G Savior. I finally got Clipsy to watch G Savior the other day. She did not like it. It was very funny. Yeah, G Savior is not good, and that's why everyone should watch G Savior. It has easily one of the worst pilot suits I've ever seen. Worst pilot suit I've ever seen. And I don't understand why they felt the need to bring the Illuminati into it. That was weird. You watch G Savior. You can find it on YouTube. Quality's a little iffy on YouTube, but it doesn't matter. It's a bad movie anyway. It is the Gundam evolution of Gundam films. Which I also still need to see, by the way. I haven't gotten around to that yet. I'm hoping I can find that on, like, YouTube or something. Yee, shiny. Because I don't want to pay for Gundam Evolution. That being said, if I can find it for, like, $1, that wouldn't be bad. I did that with the Final Fantasy movie. I have the Final Fantasy movie. I guess technically there's a couple. There's, like, what? At least 3 different Final Fantasy movies? But there's the one. There's that one. So there's Advent Children. I don't remember the name of it, but there's the one that goes with Final Fantasy 15, and then there's that one standalone Final Fantasy film that has nothing to do with Final Fantasy and is a really weird, like, sci-fi thing. I found that one for like $1. So I have it now, and I just have to take time to watch it. I'm so excited. It looks horrendous. Why, yes, I do want just watch bad films. Bad films can be fun to watch. Everyone keeps telling me not to watch Gundam Evolution, speaking of which, but I don't care. I'm gonna watch it anyway. Ooh! Ooh! Shiny. We like shiny. You go over here. Yeah, I love the shiny ones. They're all the climaxes especially tend to be really nice when you get those alt rarities. They just pick some pretty decent screenshots for them. Some of the regular cards can be a little bit mid, but the climaxes tend to be pretty good. Though I do wish it's one of Len's from the GGO set. I wish she had better climax art. Cause it's the bit where she rips Pitho's throat out with her teeth. And I just think they picked bad shots for it. And I'm like, ah, I want different angles of that. It's a fun climax though. And the finisher's neat. I don't know if it's good, but it's neat. Maybe it's not good, but it's neat, so I'm gonna run it anyway. I'm not gonna stop running it. I have other stuff I need to build too, come to think of it. I was getting pieces for, what was it? Bofuri? It was the Bofuri. They've got a finisher. Also, that's that box down, so I should go see if I can find that gum fruit. But they have a finisher for, maple. I'm not going to try and find it just because I don't remember where I put the box it's in, so that might take me a little bit of a time to find. But there's a finisher for Maple that's her like monster form that she gets. And it's a really dumb card because it has like an obscene cost to it. And I forget if it sacks the climax, but it's so expensive that like you're probably not doing it more than once anyway. It's like 8 cost or something insane like that. And then but it's like a multiple burn attack. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. And I really want to build it. A bunch of people were saying it's not good and to not build it because of the cost. And I'm like, yeah, no, you're probably right. I just don't care because I think it's funny. So I want to build it anyway. Cherry Dr. Pepper. Lovely. Okay. So that's box 3. But I'm going to stand up for a second. I'm going to go see if I can find that gum fruit as well as actually grab the other 3 boxes. So I have them on hand. I'm going to be right back. It's going to be so nice to finally have this stuff off my desk. I've been sitting here for, however long it's been. I forget how long it's been, but however long it's been since I last stream this. It was literally the last stream I did, too. Oh, there it is. That wasn't hard. Okay. I've still got the cards in it that it came with. Popped open on me, and now I gotta figure out how to put it back together. Oh no. There we go. Okay. What? Alright. Found it. I've got a plastic gum fruit. And it still has its cards in it. Ugh. I don't know if any of these are good. I don't play game. It's a neat game. The systems are actually really cool, but that one's cool looking. Yeah. Yeah, it came with a good bit of cards. It's just I don't think I can actually use like any of these anyway. Oh, and a couple sleeves too. Oh, sorry. Which one? Now I gotta find it again. Where'd it go? Oh, that one? Oh, hold on. Where'd it go? I lost it. Oh, here we go. That one? Yeah. Yeah, there's some really cool stuff that came out of this. But yeah, as someone who doesn't like actually play the game, none of it really means and also hasn't caught up with One Piece. That's the other piece to that puzzle too. As somebody who does not play the game nor has caught up with One Piece, it doesn't mean a whole lot to me. But yeah, it's cool. Now to see if I can figure out how to get this lid back on. It was first time One Piece made you cry. Oh no. Oh dear. Huh. Well, that's good to know. Let me think. How far did I get in One Piece? So remember when so it's when it's something to do with Nami and there's fish people. Remember that? I think that's as far as I got. When they deal with the fish people that are like, what were they doing? They were like holding Nami's village captive or something. Yeah, it's like the third story arc. It's really early, 20 to 40. Oh boy. It's like the third story arc, and it's still like 20 to 40 episodes in. Yeah, no, super early. It's like what, season 1, I think, still early. It's nothing. Yeah, it's insane. Well, and that's, oh, there we go. Finally, we got more Rio. I would like my full set of Nichika, please. But I'm glad we actually have Rio now. We've got 2 of her now. I think I still just have 2. Yeah. 2 of her, 2 Nichika. So I have a full set of Bochis. That's good. Let me think. Yeah, so I definitely can't get full play sets of these 2. I can get a full... Potentially, I can end up with a full play set of one of these 2. But I can't end up with full play sets of both. Hopefully these aren't expensive, because I kind of want my full play sets of everything. You're almost at 600. I thought you were saying the show is almost at 600 for a second there. Oh, boy. Yeah, I really need to catch up. I actually really like One Piece. However, it's long. It's really long. I mean, I guess it's not getting any shorter. At this point, I'm not sure it'll ever end. I know, like, the ending is planned or whatever, but still, it's like, when's it actually gonna happen? Yeah, I need to watch it. I like the characters. I watched the first episode of the live action as well. The Netflix adaptation. That was interesting. You like it, but allegedly I'm about to get to the point of the series that really slows down. Oh, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever heard bad things about One Piece. Oh, yeah, I have, actually. I have bad things to say about One Piece. I hate the animation in the recent stuff. I hate it. And it's a weird argument, too, because people are like, oh, One Piece finally has good animation, and people are complaining. The animation sucks. Yeah, I'm still live. Why? How long have I been streaming? It's only been an hour and a half. Completely blind to anything new One Piece, and will stay that way. That's probably not a bad thing. So here's the thing. I saw somebody claiming that the One Piece fight choreography is fantastic, and they showed this clip of it, and I'm like, that is the most incomprehensive piece of trash choreography I've ever seen. Half of the fight is concealed by objects in the way. The other half of the fight is impossible to follow because of the jump cuts. This does not feel like fight choreography. This feels like a TikTok video. It's awful. It is horrible. I hate it. It's terrible. I'm told that apparently Dragon Ball looks like that now too, but I haven't seen that. I cannot believe the state of animation right now. It's awful. It's genuinely terrible. And like the worst part is too, right? The animation quality is phenomenal. Yeah, I showed you that video. Yeah, it's not good. The quality, probably the worst part about it is the animation itself is flawless, right? In terms of artwork, in terms of motion, and all of that, undeniably beautiful. But the directing is atrocious. The storyboarding is atrocious. It is a horrid scene. And it's so frustrating to me to see stuff like that, because I can, like, the level of talent on display is phenomenal, and yet the end product is illegible. It is the textbook definition of over-animated, quite bluntly. And I hate it, too, seeing people be like, oh, is Jujutsu Kaisen bad then? Because it also is like that. If Jujutsu Kaisen in its second season looks like that, yes, it is terrible. I haven't watched it, so I don't know. I have absolutely no clue. But if that's true and they both are comparable, absolutely, I'm gonna hate that too. Eventually I'll watch Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know when. I need to watch Tokyo Revengers too, because apparently it's a biker gang thing, and that makes me interested. Yeah, I have no clue. But that one piece of animation was not pleasant. It made me upset. Hello, I actually like animation. I'm not just here for flashy colors. It's also why I stopped watching Ruby, because their modern animation looks atrocious, and people will be like, oh, Ruby got so much better. You got tricked by better lighting, shaders. Blech. My ability to speak is starting to dry up. You have gotten tricked by fancy shaders. Rooster Teeth, yeah, yes, yeah. Rooster Teeth is dead now, I believe, right? Why you stopped watching Disney movies? Absolutely. I'm pretty sure Rooster Teeth went under, and I don't regret it at all, honestly. Uh, yeah, but with like later Ruby, people got tricked. People got tricked by better shaders into thinking that the animation was better, when in reality the animation was just as stiff and doesn't understand a lick about timing and movement. Not to mention, all of the character models are actually really bad. They're really awkward. The dimensions are just off. They've got weird hip to shoulder ratios. The redesigns look atrocious. It's just. I don't know why people sit here and go, no, the animation got really good. It's awful. Everything about post season 3 Ruby animation is awful. It really is. Because Monty Oom's not directing it, and he's the only reason Rooster Teeth had an animation department in the first place. Monty Oom is the reason Rooster Teeth had animated portions. He is the pioneer of their animation, and when he was no longer around, nobody knew how to do what he was doing. He's the only one that had that vision. And part of it is understanding of movement and timing and action choreography. It's somebody who like clearly watched action films. Anyways, martial arts films. More people need to watch like Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. Anyway, I'm going back to opening card packs. Some of their franchises went indie. That's good. I think Ruby specifically also got picked up, I think, by Crunchyroll. So I believe Ruby should be continuing, but the Rooster Teeth name is now dead. I also need to watch, I forget what the name of it, but the anime they did. I need to finish that. I started it, and it was interesting. I kind of expected them to just redo like the first season or whatever, but they didn't. They did their own weird thing with it, and it was definitely interesting. But I think I got 3 episodes in, and that was as far as I had gotten at the time, and just didn't get around to finishing it. So I'm interested in finishing that one. I think that was Ice Queendom. I think that's what they called it. I don't quite remember. It's been a bit. We also need good games. Why do we not have like solid co-op action games? Oh, you know what? We're never gonna get them now because like Rooster Teeth's gone. But you know, Ruby feels like it should have been a video game. It's just, it's so obvious. To be fair, they tried to. I think there were like 2 or 3 different attempts to make Ruby themed games, and they just weren't very good. So that, just to answer my own question, the reason why we don't have Ruby games is because they didn't do well. I think they had a mobile game at some point, which apparently was pretty decent. I saw some people lamenting its closure, but I never played it. I do miss the days of early red versus blue. That was a legend. That was an icon. You go there. You go there. Things are starting to get wobbly and I don't like it. I want my stuff to stay neat. Oh, how about that Space Marine 2 game, though? That's a thing. That's a thing that everyone's playing now. Oh boy, now everyone thinks they like Warhammer because they played Space Marine, and they think they like Warhammer now. But none of them know of the demon Kulaba. None of them know of the demon Kulaba. They don't know Warhammer. I'm very much enjoying that book, by the way. I got like 2 chapters in. I feel really bad though for the guardsmen. I really love guardsmen, but oof, those poor guardsmen. That was a that was not a pleasant fate. All right, yeah, but the game looks fun. I would like to play it. I went and repurchased the first game because I found it was on sale on Steam. So now I have the first game again because I couldn't find my copy of 1 and I wanted to play 1. So I'm playing through that on my own. I'm probably going to try to either stream or record gameplay for 1 and then go into 2 from there so that I can get a full like a full recorded series of 1 into 2, so I've got that complete continuity. Because I know some people too were, I don't know that they were necessarily lost, but I do know there is a continuity between 1 and 2. It's the same character, and there's a bit of context that it's helpful to have from 1. It's not like it's like super story oriented anyway, so I can't imagine the game is like completely incomprehensible. I'm sure like a lack of lore knowledge, we got more shiny. I'm sure a lack of lore knowledge is worse than a lack of, oh, it's more Nijika. I'm happy. I'm happy. Yeah, but I'm sure lacking lore knowledge is a bigger detriment to understanding what's going on in Space Marine 2 than lacking knowledge of the first game. But still, I would like to have that proper progression, so to speak. Also, it's just a good game. I like the first game. I don't like the second game is weirdly slow. The melee, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't like it, but it's clumsy. It looks awkward, and it needs to get rid of hit markers. I hope I can turn those off in the settings, because I don't get it. I think they're completely unnecessary and they look bad. In general, I don't like hit markers. Hit markers only exist because competitive shooters decided it was necessary. I don't think you should have them outside of competitive shooters. They just look bad. They get in my way. They destroy my immersion. They don't make sense. And I genuinely think it's bad game design. When you can have internal systems, like you can, I forget the term for it. There is a word for game systems that are designed to be part of your setting, right? And this is what Dead Space does, right? Every single piece of Dead Space's UI is part of the game world. And there's a word for that, and I forget what that word is, right? But there's stuff you can do like that for things like hit confirmation. You don't need hit markers. And you double don't need hit markers in Space Marine. And Space Marine 1 demonstrates this. Immersive interface. Wow, it's like a cut and dry term that I should have just came to of my own. Thank you. Yeah. Immersive interface. I'm pretty sure that that is just what it's called. But yeah, an immersive interface, right? So Space Marine 1 does this with hit markers, essentially. You want to know how Space Marine 1 handles this? It's the same way, by the way, that Gears of War handles this. When you shoot an orc, because remember, you're fighting orcs in Space Marine 1, and orcs are cooler than Tyranids, but I digress. When you shoot an orc in Space Marine 1, the orc splatters everywhere. You can very clearly see that you have hit your target, because there is a lot of blood that comes off of your target when that bolt gun round lands. When you kill an orc, it pops. Whatever part you hit blows off, and the splatter is like twice as big and chunkier. So when you hit, you see that hit. There's also an audio cue. There's a like squelchy pop rather than the regular hit sound effect. So you've got an audio cue and a visual cue in the larger blood splatter for kills, and thus it does the exact same thing that a hit marker system does without the need for immersion breaking UI elements like hit markers in a game where in a setting where they can't even chart a course across space because their machinery sucks, and so they have to use psychic beings to map out their path through the immaterium. I don't think they have the technology to record whether or not their bolt guns have landed their shots or not. Maybe they do, but I really doubt that. I don't like hit markers. I think they're stupid. If I can turn them off, I will, and that'll solve my problem. I just don't think they're necessary, because, like, for starters, have you seen the hordes you're fighting in Space Marine? Like, I'm hitting. Doesn't matter if I hit the one I'm aiming at. It's hitting something. And I can see it hit because they're bleeding when I hit them. So why do I need hit markers again? I guess I can understand it a little bit more if you're playing the PvP, but even there, it's not necessary. It is an unnecessary thing that shooters have been tricked into believing is necessary because COD popularized it. And by the way, COD doesn't need it either because COD has audio cues. COD's audio cues are actually kind of weird. Like, Call of Duty should be a poster child for immersion break. You go there. You go over here, and you go here. Alright. And I don't like Primaris Marines. So I'm not happy that I have to play as a Primaris Marine. That one was a given, though. Of course, they were going to make you be a Primaris Marine. That's what they want me to buy right now. You know what I want? I want a Sisters of Battle game. I want a game where I get to play as an Eversor assassin. I want them to remake Tau Fire Warrior because it sucks. In the world of video games that need remakes, Fire Warrior is one of the greatest ones. It's not a good game, and thus it needs a remake to make it a good game. The bento I've been eyeing on Amazon was like 15, and now it's 47. That's not fun. Don't you just hate when things go up in price? Like that one time I went to look at the Judge Dredd books, and the omnibuses were each like $40, and then the next time I looked, they went up to 80. I dread looking them up now. Heh. That was very disappointing, though. I had a moment of, wow, I really should have bought these when I looked at them before, shouldn't I? I do have some Judge Dredd stuff now, and I'm very happy about that. Judge Dredd is a really cool character and setting. I like the Judge Dredd universe. Did you know that there's a time they fought Satan? Judge Dredd's weird. When they tell you not to make an impulse purchase, but waiting to make the purchase makes it cost more? Yeah. Yeah. This is why I don't wait anymore. I just make impulse purchases. Judge Dredd is so weird. Oh my gosh. Okay, so first of all, the Dark Judges. You know what the Dark Judges are? You know what the Dark Judges... Clipsy, you know what the Dark Judges are because I've told you about them. The Dark Judges are 4 judges that come from Death World. They come from an alternate dimension where they decided that, they came to the realization that all crime is committed by the living, and thus life is a crime in and of itself, punishable by death. So they kill everything in their universe and become these undead judges, and then they kill everything in their universe and then invade our universe to right the evils of life in our universe. And Dredd has to fight these undead, warped, demonic versions of the judge system. They're trying to eliminate all life in their world. And that's weird. That's really weird. And somehow that's less weird to me than literal Satan coming up from hell and them beating him by making him realize how awful life on Earth is. It stun locks him. I forget how they deal with him in the end, right? But yeah, apparently they stun lock. And I haven't read the comic, right? I haven't read that comic. But yeah, they stun lock him by showing him the world as it currently is. Judge Dredd is weird. I love it, but it's definitely weird. I don't know how to say this, but Judge Dredd is so obviously a piece of British satire. And in being a piece of British satire, it is wonderful. I love it. Now, I can actually discuss on whether or not I think that satire works, because I actually don't think it does, but I digress. Basically, from my understanding, and from looking at it, this is the vibe I get that they were trying to go with it. And I believe I'm right in this, but I might have to do some real research into it. Basically, Judge Dredd is supposed to be like this fascist satire. The problem is the judge system isn't fascism, and Judge Dredd's a good guy. So he's supposed to be this like totalitarian, this iron fist of a totalitarian system, but the people he's fighting are bad people, and he's trying to protect a city that is in its absolute worst possible state. Like, the judge system is created through necessity. It's a flawed system. It's a bad system. But it is largely made up of good people that are trying to do their best for their city. And so it doesn't really work as a satire against what it's showing. Like, when it's good people trying to do their best. And there's times where Judge Dredd goes against the system, too, which hurts that even more. I can't help but look at it and feel like it's one of those problems of they wanted their satire, but still wanted their comic book superhero at the same time, and you just can't have both. But I really like Judge Dredd. I've got the RPG too. I need to actually run it. I'm very excited to run that. I gotta get a good group for that though. I gotta get a group who is okay with shooting people because they're mutants and they're not supposed to be in the city and they pulled out a gun or something. Or arresting people for owning sugar. That's real. Ooh, more shiny. Ooh, that's very shiny. Let's get a good look at this one. That pattern is really cool. It's gotten almost like yeah, I don't know what to call it. Checker, plaid. It's squares. It's squares. That's a cool pattern. But yeah, I love Judge Dredd. And I absolutely believe that the Adeptus Arbites, I believe, are absolutely just judges, but in Warhammer. I don't know if it's Arbites or Arbites, because I heard someone say that now, and I'm like, I always thought it was the Adeptus Arbites. But now that you've said it like that, I don't know anymore. Because I've only seen it spelled. And to be fair, gosh, speaking of which, yeah, okay, so people who don't know 40k getting into Space Marine and not knowing how to pronounce, okay, to be fair, I don't know how to pronounce it right either, so this just makes it even better, right? Gilliman. The problem is I've heard his first name pronounced two different ways. I've heard it, what was it? Robute Gilliman, as well as like Robert Gilliman or something like that. I don't know anymore. It's Gilliman. It's very funny to me. Oh, there's another shiny one in here. It's very funny to me to see people though who don't know how to pronounce Gilliman because they just see it. Oh, that's actually really pretty. They see it for the first time spelled in the game, and it's like Gully Man. It's great. It's really funny. That is so pretty. No, focus on girl. Wait, technically it is focusing on girl, huh? Camera, please, thank you. Okay, well, it does not want to focus on the pretty Nijika. My camera must be scared of girls in maid dresses. No. There we go. There you go. You go here. Oh, I really want to read the Apocalypse War arc. The Apocalypse War was so this is Judge Dredd stuff again, right? And that's another box down, by the way. Woo! The Apocalypse War is when the Soviets decided to invade Mega City 1. And the judges are trying to fend off the Soviet armies. And it eventually ends in like massive nuclear warfare. It's crazy. But I really want to read those arcs. They're those are commonly I commonly see those marked as the moment that Judge Dredd became the Judge Dredd that most people think of. Allegedly, in my experience, my personal experience is pretty limited, right? I haven't read a ton of Judge Dredd yet. I'm working on it because I think it's a super cool setting. But I have only read like parts of it. Like I read the Dark Judges arc. I'm in the middle of reading the arc where Dredd is challenging their laws against mutants. By the way, this is part of what I mean by he doesn't work as like a satire of like a fascist character. He's actively fighting racism against mutants. Ooh, more Rio. Like, he's a good guy. He's a good man. And he can't always be perfect because of the system he works in, but Dredd is a good man in the end of the day. So now I've got 3 Rio. I'm gonna cry if I don't get more Nichika before the end of this. I want my full Nichika playset. I got 2 boxes to go. I have a chance, but those both need to be Nichikas, and somehow I doubt they will be. Hopefully at least one of them is, because that's less Nichikas that, well, depending on who they are, I'm going to have to buy just as many of another character anyway, I guess. I feel like I just started a conversation that they then forgot what I was talking about. Oh, that's the SP, but not. There it is. Underneath my trash. There we go. There's the not SP. Which is also the playmat, by the way, that is currently still buried under this pile. Oh. Oh no. Oh. Oh my gosh, wait, Clipsy, that's a you thing. That's Cody noises. Oh gosh, no. I've been tainted by old D&D characters. This is not my fault. I refuse to accept. My son. I should do more D&D stuff. Cody exists. We should bring back Cody. Cody's fun. We should do that. I'm having ideas. We'll have to talk. I'm gonna have to recruit people. Pride is not the word I'm looking for. Someone gets it, I hope. Well, Cody is always worth bringing back, maybe. Cody's cool. I do really like Cody. We gotta bring back What's-His-Face, too. I forget his name. You know who I'm talking about, right? What's-His-Face? The character you played? That one time? In that one campaign with the party? The party that did things? Remember that? We should bring him back. Yeah, that one! I'm actually kind of amused that you did actually know exactly which one. But yeah, we should bring him back. We should bring him back. You know what we should bring him back for? Urban fantasy. I think he would do really, really well in an urban fantasy setting, which I really, really want to do. I really want to run D&D, but urban. Modern day D&D campaign. So, same rule sets and everything, but instead of being medieval fantasy, it's cityscapes. I think that would be really, really cool. Technically, I feel like that would have an overlap with Shadowrun, but I think because of the different rule systems and whatnot, it would still stand alone as its own thing. Also, it would inherently be different because you're axing the cyberpunk from it, right? So we don't get the weird augments and stuff like that. You're still the only male DM I've had that doesn't continuously call my male characters she by accident. Really? Huh. That's weird. Really? Huh. Huh. Sorry, I get a little bit stun locked by that. That just... That takes me by surprise. Huh. Man, how? Like, I've got clear mental pictures, and you've drawn a lot of these guys, too, so I've got, like, very clear mental pictures of each of these characters. It's kind of hard to mistake them like that. They look at me and say, how am I supposed to see this and think man? Well, I don't look at you and think man. That's why I look through you at Brayden or Cody. That's the secret. Cody M. That's the true. That's why I'm the forever DM, is what it is. I've actually got a one shot I've been plunking with. So I think I'm about ready. I need to sit down and properly flesh out the narrative, right? But I think I'm about ready to recruit for like a one shot. I'll probably keep the structure around too for a generic sort of introductory one shot for people. I need to make sure. See, what I need to make sure I do when I properly flesh it out, and I'm purposely being vague on details, right? But I need to make sure what I've got is a good blend of the elements I like to work with when I finally sit down to write it up, which I think I can do with the idea I have. Um, Through like encountering the people that the quest is for, and then going into the sort of dungeon system, because it's got a dungeon system to it, and then you fight things there, you see like interesting sights, so it gives me a chance to create like fantasy world, fantasy setting, like proper world building, as well as fantastical locations, as well as character interactions prior to the exploration. So I think it's going to be a really good introductory one shot once I've got it properly fleshed out and finished. Right now, it's more brainstorms in my head. So I need to get that. I think once I've got that ready, I'll be much closer to. Well, okay, I've got a lot of other work too to do. I really gotta take more time. I gotta make more time for myself to sit down and just write details. I'm in the middle of rewriting the backstory stuff. So, Clipsy, you know about the old world. A lot of other people are not gonna, like, nobody's gonna know about the old world without going too much into detail on what the old world is, but giving enough for context of what I have been working. Oh my gosh! Okay, give me a sec. Give me a sec, and then I'll loop back around to Dungeons and Dragons. We pulled another one! Woo! I think I focus on the card, please, camera. Hello? 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 There we go. We pulled another one. There's one of our other okay. One of our other high rarity cards. So I've got the Keto one. That's awesome. She's probably one of the more valuable ones. Wow, it does not want to focus on that. It was doing it just fine for other cards earlier, but this one it just does not want to focus on. That's hilarious. So let's get this one sleeved up. These are the pricey cards. So we've got our nice set of top loaders and sleeves over here. Lock the cards behind her with your hand. That's a good idea. Let me try that. Help. Yeah, I think that did work actually. Awesome. Okay. Okay. You need to be sleeved because you are valuable. Probably. I got friends who have like crazy valuable cards too, by the way. I got one guy, he collects it's Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, right? But he collects a bunch of the higher rarity stuff. And it's just wild the amount of value he has in some. He has Kaiba's briefcase, and he has it custom fitted with like slots for for other cards, right? Because it came with like a specific setup, right? There we go. Now we've got her nice and protected. Um, and he went and custom fitted it for all of his like graded like blocks. It's crazy. It's crazy, and the amount of value he has in those cards is absurd. Just like wow, they've each got a different pattern on them too. If you can see that. Ooh, look at that. They've each got a different foil pattern. That's really cool. I think there's maybe one more of those in the case, by the way. Maybe, not certain. And if there is, and it ends up being real, I'm gonna be so happy. It's also possible there's not, and there's just the three. I'm not sure. I didn't look up rarities and numbers and whatnot, so I have no clue. You go there. Okay. You have two other boxes to get through, though. Oh, what was I saying? I got distracted by high rarity cards. Dungeons and Dragons, setting stuff. Okay. The old world. For Clipsy's gonna be the only one here who knows my setting, but the old world essentially, it's the old world. So, so the world that currently is inhabited is a layer over top of what is the old world. The old world predates any remembered history, and it was completely destroyed and sunk downward, with the current world kind of growing up over top of that old world. Most people don't know of its existence. Its existence is becoming more known now in current times, with different exploratory parties and whatnot coming across old ruins that bring them down into the depths of the old world. But it's become a realm of secrets and monsters over the countless millennias that it has laid there untouched by the peoples of the current world. And what I have been writing recently is the backstory for the old world, which is insanity to go into in huge detail, because those are plot details players very well may never know about. It's long gone from any memories, save for like one NPC. Because everything died. Literally everything was killed off during the age that led to the destruction of the old world. The reason there's no memory of it is genuinely nothing is alive that existed in that time. Which means like all the details and whatnot, they're not irrelevant, and that's why I'm working on them, right? But because it really helps me properly think about this setting and to flesh it out properly and develop like the current deities and the current realms and whatnot, to figure out where all that stuff comes from, right? But none of those like characters or events are ever going to be known to a player group because it's all just lost. But that's what I've been working on. And I need to go and finish it. I'm like halfway through it. Some of it's actually become super relevant because I've got like some old ones and whatnot that are technically still around, or like they're parts of their memories. I've got like one who is dead, but parts of its memories still exist within the world, and that allows them to be taken as a patron for warlocks and stuff like that, and gives rise to certain monsters and whatnot. It's cool. I like the old world. I think it's a neat concept. But I need to finish writing it. I need to finish writing the political structures and whatnot too. I've got to write all the noble households and which cities they have control over, the different relations between noble households, because they're not all on good standings with each other. Some of the nobles are quite upset with the others. Some of the nobles are quite upset with the current monarchy. They don't like it. They don't like that there is a Warhammer 40k orc in a powdered wig that sits on the High Council. They think he's brutish and ugly and scares them, and are very confused by his fashion choice of a powdered wig. Some nobles have picked up on it, but I miss that setting. I need to work with it more. Oh, and then there's the blood orcs to the north. I've got 3 different races of orcs. What is Evangeline's family's stance? That's a good question. So Evangeline's father's stance is what is going to be most beneficial to his family name. And currently, he actually sees potential within the current monarchy. Keep in mind that he runs the major port city. He is already in a position of sizable power that puts him above a lot of the other nobles, especially in the current um, situation of the world. But as such, he's potentially a very powerful ally for people who want to go against the crown, but the crown hasn't done anything that damages his stance exactly. They haven't imposed like destructive tariffs or anything like that, so there's no reason for him to go against the crown as it currently stands. Plus, they of course have the connection with Evangeline, and with things, in theory at least, being more patched between the two of them, he is less inclined to lash out against a friend of his daughter's, an old adventuring party. So he's not at the forefront of the revolution that may or may not be coming in a later future history. Future history. That is a sentence that doesn't work. You know what I mean. Later, the eventual revolution that is absolutely happening, that hasn't happened yet because that's like another 100 years or so in the future from where we currently stand. That is not being spearheaded by the I don't remember the name. Ooh. It's not being spearheaded by Evangeline's family. Which I now... you know what? I actually lost all those notes, though, is the part that really sucks. I don't remember the family name. So there's definitely some rewriting I'm gonna have to do. I think there are some names that are gonna end up changing as well, just from the simple matter of I have actually, why did I put these here? I've just lost some of my notes. So I remember like all my basic stuff, but some of the fine details might end up changing. Oh yeah, you did play an idiot. Yeah, that makes sense. I I had it all on the Google Doc that vanished. I don't have access to that Google Doc anymore. So yeah, that's fun. That's really pretty. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, rip Google Doc. Luckily, a lot of that hadn't been properly fleshed out yet anyway. It's just gonna suck for things like, Evangeline's family name, because I don't remember what that was. So I might have to make something up, which is really unfortunate. I still luckily remember a lot of my other details. A lot of nobles hadn't been written yet at all, which is why I'm going through and actually properly writing a lot of this stuff and fleshing it out. I don't have a noble, like, I have the noble structure. I don't have any of the noble families or the knight families or anything like that. So I need to go in and write all of those details down, figure all that out, because that stuff's going to be super super important for sure. Yeah, unlike the old world stuff, that's the stuff that is actually going to directly impact the players. I really want to run a campaign as well that is, and this is a period of history I'm going to have to remember to write about because it's going to be important. You need to work on your own settings so you can DM. Yeah, it's fun. You should. I like world building is cool. I remember there was a piece of DM advice that was given once that was something along the lines of your players don't care about the world you built. And my response to that? They can suck it up. I am gonna force it down their throats and they're gonna like it. I technically disagree. Like I kind of I think I understand where the statement comes from, but I really do feel like it's not that players don't care about the world you built, but they, how do I put it? They need to be interacting with it, right? They need to be a part of it. If you can integrate all of those world details, like nobody wants you to go, so you have now wandered onto Weathertop. Would you like to know the deep history? Never mind, you don't get to ask. Let me explain to you the deep, complex history of Weathertop, how it was originally created as a watchtower. Nobody cares, right? But if you can fit those details into their interaction, um, rather than just sitting there and explaining all of those world details, if you say, allow them to discover a mural, and the mural, you get to describe the depictions of the mural, and that mural shows like the origins of the tower, that sort of type of thing, that can draw people in a lot more than you just sitting there and ranting it off, right? Nobody cares about that. Nobody's gonna sit through all of that. But it's not that they don't care about the world building, it's that they want to interact with it. They want to be part of it. Most new generation players don't care about anything beyond haha, funny garden gnome PCs and adult jokes. So anyway, so I really like Bocchi the Rock, right? I really like Bocchi the Rock because like it's a proper band anime. There's not a lot that are actually proper band anime, but Bocchi the Rock, it breathes and lives in that rock and roll soul, right? Like you can feel it. It is tangible. It shows through the music, the characters, the way the band is actually structured, the struggles they go through, which you don't get out of a lot of so-called band anime. I love K-On, by the way. This isn't a knock against K-On in particular. It's also a knock against Bang Dream. What was that other one? I really don't like Bang Dream. Show by Rock. K-On gets away with it. K-On's just a music club. Um, but yeah, no, Bocchi's phenomenal. It's funny, and it's funny. Even outside of like the band stuff, it is a really amusing story about personal growth. Yes, I do hate that you're right. That's why I sidetracked. No, it's that's unfortunately very true, and that's why I have to be very specific with my play groups, because that I don't like that. I like D&D. I actually literally said this to somebody yesterday. Yesterday, it was yesterday I was having this discussion. Okay. Somebody brought up there was a D&D group that they were looking at, and they were planning on running one of those systems where they're like, "Oh, it's a system where the DM doesn't make rolls and the PCs work together to build this." I hate that stuff. There are like two or three systems I can think of that works like that. One of them is Critical Roles system. They don't work. What kind of a lunatic thinks that's actually going to work? When you put all the power in the player's hands and none in the DM, you don't have a structure. There is no game there. It's not going to work. It's going to be a mess. In best case scenario, you have to have a very carefully picked group of players that all resonate with each other and all actually work on each other to build something up. It is not going to work as a game system. It will only work in tight-knit RP communities. Oh my gosh, you're right. We should do a serious D&D podcast. But anyway, so I said this to her, like, to just explain, like, why I don't like the systems, right? I'm like, yeah, those aren't really for me. They don't really work. And, like, my thing is with D&D, right? I like D&D as it was originally created, as an economic simulator. I bet people don't realize that the original D&D is an economics game. From the words of Gary Gygax himself in the AD&D, which one is it? It is the AD&D first edition, I think, Dungeon Master's Guide. He goes very in depth in the introductory in explaining the reasonings behind everything, from the die rolls to the statistics to why it's balanced the way it is, and it is so clearly an economic simulator. It's all about the entire reason adventurers exist is to make money to live off of. It is people in relative, like, not desperate situations, but they're people whose best course of action is to go out and make money through adventuring to maintain their lifestyles. And it's all balanced around the acquiring of wealth, to acquire gear, to go back out, to acquire wealth, to maintain your living, to get gear, to go, like, it's one giant economic loop, and that is D&D as it was created. It was never a dating sim. It was never meant to be this story first. It was always a mechanics heavy economic game. And that's how I like it. I like it being dungeon heavy. I like it being mechanics heavy. I like it being economic heavy. And when I run, yes, I do keep track of ammunition. I do keep track of rations. I will have you starve out there in the middle of nowhere. I do not just pay you gobs of money. I think starting money is way too high. Way too high. What are you doing starting with 10 gold pieces? That's absurd. Yeah, I imagine if econ students had a class that was just a short AD&D campaign. Honestly, that'd be really interesting. I need to get that book, by the way. Again, I believe it is the AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide. If that's even a thing, it might have all been bundled as one book. I'm gonna have to find it because there's, from my understanding, I might be off, but there are two different editions of AD&D because there's AD&D and then AD&D Second Edition, and it's specifically the AD&D book rather than the AD&D Second Edition or Second Edition AD, the AD&D Second. I'm trying to remember where they technically put. Doesn't matter. It's the Second Edition. Yeah, there's two different editions of AD&D. Yeah, that would be interesting. AD&D also has better skill spreads than 5th edition. Oh, that's another shiny Nijika. Oh, Dorito. Look at her with her head, Dorito. This is my child. Okay. Um. Yay, economics. Oh gosh, I've still got 2 boxes to go through. I need to focus a little bit on box opening, huh? Oh, okay, yeah. Skill spread. Skill spread was better back in the AD&D days. I completely disagree with people who are like less skills means more player freedom. Well, okay, wait. Let me rephrase that. Less skills is better because it means more player freedom. Less skills is worse because it means more irrelevant systems. A game with no out of combat mechanics is a game whose non combat aspect is trivial. And that's 5th edition. But the other side of that is 5th edition has bad combat mechanics, which means 5th edition doesn't have mechanics. It's a bad system. The idea that, oh, well, it's more player freedom. Now you can do whatever you want. And in being able to do whatever you want, nothing you do matters. Anyone can fish, anyone can hunt, anyone can do whatever. Anybody can talk to anyone and get anything done because nothing matters. Nothing ever matters anymore because there are no systems for it. There is no sense of personal growth or achievement within your characters because there are no systems for it. In addition, it makes it way worse on the DM to have to then make stuff up for literally everything because the rules couldn't be bothered. AD&D had pages of non-combat skills, which led to way more player creativity in how they built their character and what values that character had and what skills they developed outside of killing things. And then when you weren't just fighting, it meant there was something to actually do, which is something 5th lacks. This is why I like Call of Cthulhu. Yes! Call of Cthulhu systems. As kinda nonsense as it is to have a whole sheet of just basic skills. Yes. Actually, this, to that point, this is why I really like, well, actually, AD&D is like this too. But also, Shadowrun. Woo! Yeah, that... We're not getting Yijika full play set. But at least we have 3 Rios now. I'm gonna cry if the next one's Rio. I don't want Rio playset, I want Nijika playset. So Shadowrun, AD&D is like this too. Shadowrun is like this. Rather than having an entire sheet of basic skills, they have, well, because they have like proficiency systems essentially, rather than Call of Cthulhu's skill system. But the result is you pick the ones you want and put them on your sheet rather than having an entire sheet of basic skills, right? Shadowrun's also really cool because it has skill groups. which will be things like, oh, I just bumped a key. So everything's still, yes, everything's still working. So Shadowrun has skill groups. So you can take individual skills and specialize in those individual skills, but you can also take entire skill groups. That'll be things like, acrobatics. You take the whole acrobatics skill group. I don't think that's right, actually. I think it's athletics skill group and acrobatics is in. It's been a while since I looked at the book. But the point being, it's like, vehicles would be an entire skill group. Again, I think I'm wrong. I'll look at the book later and get the specifics on how it actually works. Um, but the result is they're like bundles of skills. So while you can have specialization in specific skills, you can also take the whole bundle and it'll give you just generic proficiency when doing a whole bundle of things, essentially allowing you to be like jack of all trades in particular topics or hyper specialized in particular topics, and it's a really cool system. Even then, I think there was an even greater like level of detail because you could have like handgun skill specialization revolver, and then using a revolver would give you. I think that was a thing. Again, I'd have to review it. It has been a while since I last played Shadowrun. Ooh, Nijika pack. Yee. Oops, all Nijika. Nijbesh girl, we love Nijika. I love Nijika, and I will accept no criticism. Nijika is best girl. She is angel. She is mommy. Call of Cthulhu is a fantastic system, though, and a lot of that same stuff, because a lot of it. So, Call of Cthulhu specifically, that is a role play game. That is not a combat game. And the majority of its skills are non combat skills to facilitate that. It gives you something to strive for outside of just killing things. It gives you stuff to emphasize outside of just killing things. And so when you're not just killing things, it provides you something to actually do and engage with. Again, it's why 5th edition's a bad system, because it doesn't do that, and it needs to, because its combat mechanics are really bad. See, also in terms of non-combat games, Call of Cthulhu is different because Call of Cthulhu is horror. Golden Sky Stories. Golden Sky Stories is very simple, but it is exclusively non-combat. And it's a wonderful little system that encourages interaction and creativity and boosting up your fellow players. I think is the best way to do it. Essentially encouraging fellow players for acting out their characters, for really engaging with the role play element. It does that, by the way, in literally allowing players to grant a resource for engaging with their character. It's really clever. So it's kind of like inspiration, but if inspiration can be granted by your fellow player. And it is thoroughly encouraged to vigorously grant this out, not like to hold it back, because the points are also spent, like they only last for the single session, right? So at the end of the session they're all gone. So it actively encourages you to be boosting up your fellow player in focus, please. Thank you. Yay! Shiny. Okay, actively encourages you to be interacting, to be boosting up your fellow players for interacting, to be actively using those skills for the achievement of these ultimately non-combat oriented encounters. Actually, it's really funny. getting into fights. So okay, in Golden Sky stories, you're building up your bonds to like characters and whatnot, right? One of these bonds is your bond with the town that you live in, and if you pick fights, it damages your bond with the town. It like actively reduces it. It caps it at a specific point for picking fights because you're viewed as a delinquent now. It's quite lovely, honestly. It's kind of adorable. Golden Sky Stories is a wonderful little system. Again, very, very simple. Out of all the systems that I like, it is by far the most basic. And that one is actually a great example of lack of mechanics leads to player creativity, right? Very basic, very cut and dry mechanics that are all designed to emphasize one core thing: non combat, um, role play focused experience. They are all centered around that same thing, and thus they don't have to be super detailed. The biggest like stats in the game, like the most important thing, is those bonds with other people. That's the big thing that you're building and developing, are those bonds. And again, that is directly roleplay oriented. It is directly related to how you interact with the town and its people, how you help those people. Again, it's adorable. It's wonderful. Oh, and you play as Animal Kaiju. It's cute. I love Golden Sky Stories. Birds give big mommy vibes. Uh, yeah. Yeah, we should do a D&D podcast. I think that's a really good idea. We can start by talking about Golden Sky Stories, I guess. That'd be really fun. I'm gonna have to think about like topics for that though. I don't want to think about topics. That's work. Don't you know? I'm not supposed to have to work. That's the whole point of YouTubing is so that I can get paid for not working, right? That's so lovely. I need to finish my own system too. I got kind of stuck on how to handle vehicle rules, which is why I never finished it in the first place. But like, I really need to go back and finish that. I would love to publish that if I can manage it, but obviously it has to be finished before it can be published. So I'm also gonna have to look into how trademarking things works. I kind of don't want to deal with trademarking, but like I really want to get that trademarked if I'm gonna try to like publish it. It's part of why I haven't like shared it like super publicly either. Is I do want that like properly protected before I have that open to the public. And I'm gonna have to figure out how that works. I'm not sure what the extent of what I can do is with that. I don't know if the rule set has to be finished first, or if I can like trademark the name, and that like by extension applies to. Um, I'm not sure how much you can even trademark in the first place. So I know there's a limit to what can actually be like trademarked. I'm trying to remember what I was told about it before. What was it? We could play D&D and or other TTRPGs as a podcast. That's true. Or do an intro to X TTRPG kind of thing where we talk about different game systems before doing a one shot of that system to showcase it. That'd be cool too. I actually like that idea. I would I don't know if I want to do like full on gameplay podcast. That's a good idea, though. A lot of people have done exactly that. I kind of want to do. because as far as gameplay, I kind of want to do streams, and I want to like loop like visuals into it and whatnot for the audience and whatnot. So I don't really want to do that as pure podcast. For podcast, I would prefer to focus on different RPG topics, but introductory sort of things like that falls in line with that as well and would be really cool. I would like the opportunity to talk mechanics and stuff like that, because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to RPG mechanics. And once I get to it, more shiny. Orange butcher. Shiny butch. Le butch. I like that one. I really like that one. I think I just pulled. Yeah, I did just pull the regular one. I really like the shiny for that one. That texturing is really cool on that. So it's like almost like a like grain texture, like an almost wood grain type texture to it. That's really cool. I like that a lot. Um yeah, podcasts. I should do a TTRPG podcast. I should do like a video game podcast. I could probably find so many topics. Let me rephrase that. I can find so many topics. There are always topics for video game related content, for like mechanics and like deep dives and discussions. There's so much room for that. I like the idea of doing introduction. See, I probably have a lot of material to do an intro to RPG type podcast as well. I could definitely find more. I could find more for sure. But the amount of books I have just floating around for like systems and whatnot, I've got like Mutants and Masterminds. I've got the Star Wars stuff. I've got D&D stuff floating around. Shadowrun. I've got the Judge Dredd stuff. Like, oh boy, I've got Cyberpunk Red like right at my feet actually. I don't want to play Cyberpunk Red. I want to play the one that came out before it. But Cyberpunk Red is the one that was made boring so that normies can get into it, which means it's the easiest one for me to push on normies. It's also got really pretty cover art. But yeah, I want to play. I forget the name because it's dates. They're all named after dates, and so I can't remember them because numbers suck. Here it is. Cyberpunk Red, the one that like homogenized the weapons so that they're not super unique by company anymore, and it makes it kind of mid, but also made hacking actually fun. Apparently, I haven't played it. I'm just going by what I have been told. But that makes me really like super uninterested in it compared to past editions, honestly. Just hearing that it kind of like made a lot of the weapons samey and whatnot, because that's such a big deal to me. Having those like unique presences for each of these corporations that like you know them, it really drives in that sort of the world building aspect of it. So to minimize that really sucks. But you know what? I'm gonna put this down because yeah, I will get absorbed into the book if I actually flip through it. Still got new book smell. Anyway, yeah, I picked it up to thumb through, read mechanics. I haven't had a chance to do anything with it. I got a bunch of RPG books like that though. I picked them up to thumb through, read mechanics, and haven't had a chance to do anything with. I need to pick up the Call of Cthulhu stuff to thumb through, learn mechanics, and not actually do anything with. I love the system. I just, you know, finding the time and the player groups is a pain. I wish I could quit work and just YouTube full time, because then I can make my own schedule. And when I say let's do D&D. Everybody else has their own schedules and nothing lines up and I can't get anything done anyway. But it means that I can more easily set aside specific times for D&D and work with other people's schedules and whatnot. It's so hard to work with other people's schedules when I have my own schedule I have to work with. It sucks. It really sucks. And I'm sure literally anybody who has a job can relate to that. Ugh. Yeah. I really do wish I could quit work and just focus on the channel. I would get so much done. I've still got that Armored Core stuff I haven't done anything with. I need to make time to sit down and work on that, because at this point it's absurd. Gotta do a little thing for Jane Doe for Zenless Zone Zero. Me working 60 hours a week and hasn't streamed since July. 60 hours, that's absurd. That's absurd. I was doing 45 tops when I was working the deli and complaining about it because they were working me for longer hours than they were supposed to. That was 45. That's absurd. I can't imagine working 60 hours a week. Yeesh. That's it. Blech. No. No thank you. Yeah, I'm stun locked by the words 60 hours a week. That's okay though. I'll bully you. I'll bully you. We should do something. Oh, you know what? Where's my Black Desert online fishing stream? We were supposed to do a Black Desert online fishing stream where I complained about the stuff. Where I got controversial and complained about Sigmarines or something. I've actually got very specific things I want to complain about, and I'm deciding not to because they're controversial. Oh. I really shouldn't get into it. I want to. 40K. 40K. This is the most I think I'm gonna say. 40K being in the limelight again results in everybody complaining about everything and nobody actually knowing what they're talking about, and it's infuriating. You haven't touched since then? Oh no. Oh, I haven't either. Okay, actually I did touch it after, but like it's been a long time since I've actually gone on. I started building my boat and then haven't gone on, so no progress is made on that boat. But I did start it. I got all the blueprints and everything. I got the facilities I needed. I was beginning production. Did I get all the blueprints? Now I actually can't remember if I got all the blueprints, but I was working on all the wood production, which now I'm gonna have to relearn to a certain degree because it's a lot. Oh my gosh. Because you have to, so I have to harvest the wood. I have to chop down the trees, harvest the wood, and then I have to process the wood into planks. I can't remember the names of everything, but it's like I got to get planks, and then I've got to process the planks into like this other material. It, and by the time I get to that last step, it's like there's been so much material loss. But then I need a whole bunch of that material, but then I also need the planks. Oh my gosh. And then I need fabric, and I need to start, I think it's flax that I needed to start harvesting, and I don't know where to get it. So I just have workers working those areas right now to get me that material that I can process into textiles. It's a lot. Takes about a month of actual gameplay to make a ship. Yeah. It's a lot. I got a good chunk out of it. I got like maybe... How much? Like maybe a third of the way through? I think that's too generous. Maybe like a fourth of the way through. But I was working on it. And workers don't work unless you're logged in. Yep. Yup. Yup. So yeah, they're not working right now. And I'm gonna have to slightly relearn my loop once I get back into it too. But my entire loop, once I started working on that, my entire loop was harvesting pine, processing pine, checking on my workers to see how much work they had done in processing my pine, resetting them to process my pine, going to do the same thing myself again alongside my own workers, reissuing workers to harvest the raw materials I need to make fabrics, making my own fabrics, checking on my workers again, harvesting pine. It was all dedicated, going all the way. Oh my gosh, I had to travel all the way across. So it's the city, it's the port city. I've got a lot of stuff centered in now I don't remember the name of the city, but I got a lot of stuff centered there. So I have to go back and forth between the port and that, like, it's like the second city you go to, because that's where a lot of my stuff is centered, and I'm going back and forth and back and forth. It's also one of the best places to get pine I've found so far too. I'm also annoyed though. I don't like I have found that the tree textures, the tree models they use are not consistent with the material that you get from them. The material you get from them are consistent within regions, but you'll go to another region and all of a sudden the tree models that they're using correlate to different materials gained, and that really bothers me actually. So like I'm in one area and this one tree model they're using, that's all pine, and I go to another area, and all of a sudden, that's not pine anymore. Now that's oak. And I don't like that. I would like to be able to actually learn to recognize different trees. Not only that, but like, it's like, oh, it's pine. And I look at the leaves and I'm like, that's not a pine tree. But it gives me pine wood. Yeah, well, they've got a couple different tree models and just change which ones are actually different materials based on where I am in the world. And it bothers me. I wish there was more consistency with it. And like I can't learn to recognize them based on certain like characteristics either because again, it's not consistent. It's like again, with like the pine wood isn't always harvested from an actual pine tree. The leaves are different. Like pine trees have a specific they have pine needles, right? And I'm harvesting pine wood off of trees that are obviously not pine trees. I wish there was work done into making like a consistency within that aspect of it. Perhaps this is just me being autistic, but still. The tree models are kind of generic. I think it's the moral of that story. They didn't think about it as much as I do. Of course, I am the one that is designing leaf patterns for my trees for D&D. Which again is that stuff that I was told your players don't care about. I don't care if my players care about it. I am designing the trees. I am designing the leaves. I am designing what the seed pods look like, and I am going to put research into oak trees so that I can make my fantasy oak trees and different. I hate myself. I do way too much work for this, and nobody's going to care. It's not even relevant. I will make it relevant. You watch me. When not Frodo gets stabbed at not Weathertop, and not Aragorn has to find not Kingsfoil, and my players will have to determine what not Kingsfoil is based on the leaf and flower patterns. I will make it relevant. My players will engage with my world whether they want to or not. Nijika. I'm almost done, by the way. I got one box. I've got one pack left in this box, and then one other box. And then we'll finally have these opened, and I can move on to clearing my desk so that I can make other stuff on this space and reset it up and all that. Just saw someone say they've never seen a better couple in anime than Kirito and Asuna. Clearly, they only watched mainstream shonen. I disagree with that statement because dang it, Full Metal Alchemist is mainstream shonen, so clearly they have only watched modern mainstream shonen. But yeah, totally. It could be worse. They could have said Sakura and Sasuke, because that is a couple, and I hate it. Ed and Winry, the power couple. Ed and Winry, they're just childhood friends, and then one day Winry goes, "Wait, when did his shoulders get real broad? Wait, he's hot." Canon moment, I read the manga, trust. You remember that, right, Clipsy? You remember that bit? I love Full Metal. Full Metal is great. When you really had the "oh no, he's hot" moment, she really did. And their dynamics shifted a little bit going forward from then on. I don't know if I want to describe their relationship as a slow burn, but it had good development time. We're just childhood friends until one day Ed goes, "Why don't we just, I don't know, get..." That's pretty much how it went down, though. His proposal was awful, too. That's how you know she loves you, is when your proposal sucks and she accepts you anyway. Because you're an idiot and you don't know how to propose. Ed is a fail. Ed, oh man, I kind of hate. No, alright, listen here. Ed's not a. Oh, but. Okay, anyways. I don't like. Look, Ed is only a fail boy sometimes. Ed is actually a very accomplished and very intelligent individual. He's just socially inept, which comes from a lifetime of, honestly, pain and suffering dedicated to a sole goal of restoring his brother's body after he, through his own foolishness, destroyed it. Which means when it comes to social engagements, he's terrible at it. In addition to that, too, he's belligerent and aggressive. Yay! I got one more Nijika! I just have to go buy one now. Ooh, hopefully these aren't like $30 promos. I severely doubt they'd be like $30 promos. But I won't know until I actually... Why do I have a full set of Rios? When did that happen? Huh. I got full playsets of everything except Nijika. I'm gonna cry. Accomplished fail boy. Just like Betel, leader of Tempest Vanguard. Yeah, I know you have a favorite character type. You're right. I don't... you're right. Yeah. No, you are correct. That's true. How about that Daki, though? Did he release it yet? I want to know what it looks like. Speaking of Betel. Man, Full Metal is so good. I like that time when Metal and Full, and it was pretty cool. Not to be confused with Full Metal Panic, which sucks. I don't like Full Metal Panic, Why, yes, I did watch 2 episodes, but I'm not interested in watching more than that. It got on my nerves. You did. You're right, and I don't remember it. Full Metal Panic is one of those classics I never watched because I didn't like it. I didn't get it. I signed in for a mecha anime and I sat through 2 episodes of the most bland and uninteresting generic high school like shonen hijinks I've ever watched. Fumofu was peak. I could not get past episode 2. It was bland and uninteresting, and I hate that kind of juvenile nonsense. It's the same reason I couldn't watch Macross, except worse. Because at least Macross started with the combat scenes, even if ultimately it was a juvenile piece of trash. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. That is the greatest. Yeah, it sucks for Macross too, because like Macross could have a good story if the entire bridge crew wasn't a group of completely idiotic girls doing their stupid kya's and ahs and squeals while the ship is nearly being destroyed by enemy artillery fire. I could not watch Macross. It was really upsetting. And it sucks, because, like, I get it. That's, like, the worst part. I was trying to watch it, and I'm like, I understand why this is a classic. I can't deal with this. This is stupid. I cannot. And the entire time, and Macross fans don't even get this, it's not a war drama. It's not a military show. Macross is a series about the power of music. Macross is a series about the significance of music in culture. It's not about the conflict. It's about the romance, and it's about the music. It's so dumb. They win the war because of idol music. And it's one of the greatest scenes in anime. And I can't. It hurts me. I just can't deal with it. Oh, Macross Plus was really cool though. Steven Universe, but robots? Oh, I don't know. I think Steven Universe is worse, but I think I know what you're getting at. Oh. You just did me extra pain. Macross Plus was really cool though, because it wasn't juvenile. Macross Plus felt like it was written for an adult audience, as opposed to Macross, which felt like it was written for a stupid teenage audience tops. Macross was written for a child audience, and it shows. And it holds it back so much. And I don't want to have somebody try to be like, well, it's old. You have to understand, the original Gundam's older and doesn't fall into those same traps. It's got nothing to do with the age. Zeta Gundam is I can't remember which one came out first. I think Zeta Gundam is older than Macross. Macross is for the adults who ended up liking Harry Potter. Oh no, you're right! Oh my gosh, you're right! The adult I know who likes Macross likes Harry Potter! Oh! Oh! Also, they're called Valkyries, not Veritech fighters. Screw Robotech. Robotech's a mistake. It's not Battleoid, it's Batroid. It's, yeah. Garwalk, Fighter, and Batroid forms. It's actually supposed to be Battle Droid, but Star Wars didn't like that. Also, did you know that what's it called? BattleTech. BattleTech originally was okay. So it's really weird, but BattleTech, the Mech Warrior setting originally was using Macross um machines. It had the Macross license originally, but there was this really weird thing where there were like two different companies at the time that had the Macross licensing for Western releases, so they ended up getting sued over that and had to change a bunch of stuff. It was wild. It's not Jetfire, it's Macross VF-15 Super Valkyrie. Correct. I have a friend who was watching Original Gundam and was like, everyone keeps calling the MC special, and I thought they meant they were autistic or something, but no, they're just psychic. Yeah, no, but like, yes? Yes. Both of those things. He was autistic before he was psychic. Also, which version of the original were they watching? Because it kind of changes when he becomes psychic. In the film compilation version, they bring up the concept of new types within the first film. In the original animated series, the 41 episode TV run, they don't bring up new types until the last fourth of the series. Autistic Prime subscription. Yeah, and I prefer that. I don't like that they bring up new types so early in the original series or in the film compilations. Check my camera real quick. Okay, good. I don't like how quickly they bring up the concept of new types in the compilation films because I feel like it takes away from his personal achievements and growth to have already seeded the concept of him genuinely being psychic. I much prefer him gradually growing into it and developing those powers over time rather than going right out of the gate being like, oh, maybe he has psychic powers. Well, then he's just born OP, and it kind of takes away from the personal growth that he has to go through. I don't like it. I, which I guess is my way of saying, yes, I'm the one person who thinks the original TV run is better than the compilation films. Although the compilation films got rid of the G armor, and that is the greatest thing that has ever been done in in a compilation. I hate the G armor. The G armor is the stupidest thing. So the G armor was forced in there by the toy company, and it shows. The best part of the compilation films is the fact that they get rid of all of the stuff that was obviously forced in by the toy company. Because there's a lot of stuff in that original series. Well, not a lot of stuff, but there is a fair amount of stuff in that original series you look at and you go, that, like, basically anytime you look at the original series and you see a mech design that you look at and you go, that doesn't look like it belongs here. It was forced in by Clover. The first time we realize he's not normal, being the scene where he's counting each kill in combat makes it terrifying and way more intriguing. Exactly. And that is when they introduce Lala. That's after he encounters Lala for the first time. And that is the first time they actually bring up the concept of new types in the original run instead of having Matilda bring it up in the compilation films. I really don't like Matilda bringing it up. And she does mention, but it's like as a joke when she brings it up in the original TV show. She's like, maybe he's an Esper. She doesn't even use the term new type. It was more of a joking statement, but it was like a joking foreshadow statement, so to speak. But the first time they actually bring up the concept of a new type in the original TV run is, yes, it's when he encounters Lala and when he starts counting his kills. And it is downright disturbing because it finally marks him as not being normal, of actually being other from everybody else. It's really good. The original series is really good. And you know what? They win the war without an idol performance. I'm never not going to be mad about that scene. It's a really good scene, by the way. That's why I hate Macross so much. I'm like, oh man, why does the best scene in all of anime have to be an idol performance over a war zone? Also, Macross 7, I think it is stupid. Why would I watch an anime about a rock star using a mech to fly into the middle of combat zones to play rock music to make everybody chill out because he's a pacifist? I'm not watching that. I'm just not. Like, if I'm gonna watch a mech series, I do want people to actually die. Also, Bandai teased a new trading card game that is, I guess, Gundam. All they really said is trading card game, Gundam. And I went, cool, show me mechanics, and can I build a UC only deck? Because I'm not playing it if I have to use stuff from outside of UC. Ah, idol music. Now I understand culture. Let's stop fighting and talk about our Oshis. And that's not even it. It's, idol music. Now I understand culture. Must kill man who does not believe in my Oshi. Remember, the Zentradi that discovered proto-culture through the musical performance turned on their brothers. Macross is dumb. And hey, guess what? Then we have immigration problems. Because after the Zentradi War, the Zentradi that tried to integrate with human culture didn't fit because they were bigger and way over aggressive, which led to a huge era of strife on Earth trying to integrate Zentradi peoples into Earth culture. Which is a struggle that is highlighted within Macross Plus as well. It's actually really cool. Like this is part of why Macross Plus is better than Macross. It's neat. Uh Oops, you need to use these. I think I need to stop speaking for today. It's been 3 hours. It's currently almost midnight. That explains a lot. You still need to watch Macross Plus. I did like that one. I kind of want to watch the one where she sings September. I can never remember which one that is. I always want to say it's Frontier, but I don't think it is Frontier. I think it's a different one, and I always want to say it's Frontier. Is it Frontier? Oh, my phone's occupied. It's the camera. I kind of want to see it because she sings September at one point. Which I think is Earth, Wind, and Fire, I think, right? I'm going to have to look that up. Because if I just sounded like an idiot, I'm going to be really upset with myself. Yeah, you do need to watch a lot of things. Like, Gundam, you need to finish it. I gotta say though, Valkyries definitely like grew on me. The first time I saw a Valkyrie, I thought it was one of the most hideous mech designs I'd ever seen. But honestly, they grew on me after a while. I genuinely do think, like, I don't think it would have sold as well, so technically you probably can actually do this. But you could take away the mechs from Macross, and nothing would change. It's it's a dogfighting series. It's a series about air wing squads. It's not a mecha series at all. You can take away the You can take away the transformation part of a Valkyrie and just have them be F-14s in space, and the narrative would not change for it. It would be perfectly fine. That part's a gimmick. That part exists to sell toys. I wish we got a Rogue Squadron movie. That's technically not relevant, but like I like aircrafts. I like dogfighting. I really like X-wings. X-wings are really cool, and A-wings. Man, I would love a Rogue Squadron movie. Curse you, Kathleen Kennedy. How dare you greenlit one and then take it away from me behind my back? It was probably gonna suck anyway, but I still wanted it to exist. No, I didn't. I didn't want it to exist. Are you sure? I mean, would I curse its existence? By the way, I finally ordered a pillow for my Battle Valentine cover. It's weird dimensions, so I had to get one from Amazon. Next, I have to find a body pillow for my Docky cover. You cannot find one in the correct dimensions that are below $200. Trust me, I tried. I don't know why, but you cannot find Docky, like, pillows for Dakimakura that are in the right dimensions that aren't insanely expensive. It is going to be off, or you're going to be spending $200. It sucks. Bet, he says, I hope you can. I really do, because I couldn't when I did it. And I would like mine to be in proper dimension. Mine are all on pillows that are actually a bit too small, and I hate it. Whoa. Whoa, I like the effect on that one. I'm gonna have to double check it. It's found one for 50. I want to say it's 150 by 60 centimeters, but I might be wrong. One battalion made a post saying where you can find cheaper ones. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't expect them to be as good quality. I just want to not spend $200. 150 by 50. See, I think that's off. And that's the problem. Because I think that's what mine are. I think they're 150 by 50, and there's the. I think it's the length is off, so I think they're maybe 160 by 50. I gotta double check the dimensions, but that's that. I believe that's what mine are, and that is a little bit off, which results in them just not sitting quite right. Which was the problem I was having. It's like a couple centimeters off, and I don't like it. But yeah, I gotta figure it out again. It's been a while since I looked at it. Um, for 100-ish. I mean, it's better than 200, but that's a lot. That's a lot for a pillow. And keep in mind, I have a total of. Maybe I don't want to admit that on stream. I have 3 body pillows and another one on the way. I have a total of 4. I currently own 3 actual pillows, or cases, I should say. I have 4 cases. I own only 2 pillows. I only have 2 actively, like, usable at a time, but, like... So, yeah, that's $400 for me still. I went to make a custom one of my lockpicks and screwdriver as a docky. Yeah. That's a pretty good one. I like that. I want to figure out how to make custom dockies for reasons. I've got reasons. It's funny. I think it's funny anyway. But it's, it's kind of a, I guess it's kind of a, what's the word? I don't know how viable it is to do, but I've got ideas. You're only waiting on your second. Well, here's the problem. Shondo has two. That's the problem. I wasn't going to get more than three. And then Shondo released a second one. And now I have to have another one. I've got Miyako. And that was my first one. I've got the Gurodaki. And that was a necessity. The Shondo was also a necessity. And then she made another one. And it's better than the last one. I'm also so excited for my Shumo. I'm so excited for Shumo. I have been waiting for her to release these, since for a long time. Oh, I'm also so excited that the artist that I pre-ordered the Pippa plushie from, she's finally got them. They are finished with production. They are just about ready to ship them out. They're like waiting on one more thing before she's ready to actually ship them out. But I'm so excited. I'm finally gonna get my Pip plushie. I spent way too much money on that Pip plushie. I can't wait. I can't wait to help her commit crimes. This is a huge stack of Bochi. Bochi's stack is insane right now. Plushie. Okay. Oh, you know what I forgot to check on though is that one artist that had the it was Hoshino from Blue Archive, and it rocks. It was an acrylic standee that rocks, and I wanted to grab one, and then I didn't, and yeah, I gotta check her shop and see if that's still acquirable, because I quite liked that one. This is Best Girl. Which, why have I had to argue like all of my favorites? I I I don't really get it. I have for some reason had to argue with people over all of my favorites because for some reason every time I'm like, this is my favorite, someone's like, she's awful. Why do you like Hoshino from Blue Archive? Why would you like Hoshino? It's like, why do I have to justify it to you? Because I won't beat the allegations? Listen, it's Blue Archive. This dude was also playing the game. I don't have to beat any allegations. No, I've had to justify Nijika and Hoshino, and it's like, why does it matter? Let's go. It's beautiful. It's like they're lame. It's like, no, they're not. There would be no band without Nijika. I am probably not beating the allegations of liking blondes with side ponytails, though. That seems to be my type. Speaking of which, I can't wait for the next banner so I can see 6 Lucy. I'm so excited. I'm very excited for that. I've got Piper. I just need Lucy. I also need Caesar to drop so I can stop spending on the banner because I also want Bernice. And I don't like that they're going to be back. I think they're going to be back to back anyway, and I don't like that. I would like some time between them, please. Can they please give me a guy in between the two of them so that I don't have to roll anymore? Bernice is your kind of crazy. Uh the I yeah. Yeah, I agree. Actually, I really like her. She's great. I like Caesar. I really like Caesar. I'm actually very amused. I saw parts of Twitter apparently mad that Caesar is cute. And I'm like, okay, cry about it. Have you seen her MV? Because it caught me off guard, I'm gonna be honest. I'm excited. I can't wait for Bernie. Bleh. I can't wait for Bernice's stuff to actually start coming out too, like the trailers and whatnot for her. I want to see her stuff. Cause she's another 5 star, right? Or S rank, I guess. It's just the same thing, but they had to change all their lingo around to be obnoxious. Yeah, yeah. So she should be getting all that same stuff too, and I'm excited. Which cat boy? You mean the 4 star? The 4 star cat boy? Or the B rank cat, A rank cat boy? There is no B rank. Ah! Why did they have to change it to a letter system? Oh, that's the last one. Nice. Well, that's everything. I have opened all. Woo! Cat boy. Cat boy, you mean the cop one, right? The cop cat boy with the charge blade? That may or may not have a thing with Rat Girl. I don't know. I didn't actually finish that part of the story, but that's a ship with Jane Doe. She she twitched her ears at him, and I guess that's yeah. You got him C6. I didn't because I got Rat within like 20 rolls. I'm actually really happy about it. I was saving up through that entire banner for Caesar, and I'm waiting for Caesar to drop now. But I did get him. I just have one of him though. I think I probably have more than one. I'll have to double check. Uh, Catboy and Rat Girl is a fun combo though. Um, yeah, they probably work well together too. I'd have to look at what he does again, but I know he like buffs, so he's really good to have on a team where you're swapping him out for other characters. Because with his demo, I noticed he wasn't actually doing that high of a damage output, despite having a really fun kit. His damage output was just really lacking. But I know he was doing like buffs where he then swapped off to other characters. Like he would trigger a assist on another character who would then get buffs on entry from his assist. So I'd have to look at what he actually does again, but he might pair really well with her too because she wants to be on field the entire time. That's her thing. She builds up. What'd they call it? Adrenaline? I think they called it adrenaline. I forget. as she strikes, she builds up a gauge. Once maxed, it drains with each strike, but it changes her move kit and does higher damage, and it also builds when she dodges. So she is dodging, gets a special attack off of dodging as well. Um, well, I guess they all get a different attack, but she's extra special when dodging. Like, her entire thing is dodging instead of swapping. Most of the gameplay loop revolves around using the character swap to get your counters, versus Rat's loop is dodging things and getting damage buildup off of that, which is really cool. It's really, really cool. It's why I was really happy to get her, because her kit's very fun. It's very, very fun. But the result is she wants to always be on field. Unlike other characters who want to swap off with other characters and synergize, she wants to be on field. We can laugh at the people who complain about all the animal girls being waifu and all the animal men being actual animals, because we officially have Catboy. Yeah, we also have the cat Thyron that Bernice tried to torch as well, who was a furry girl. So yeah, they were just all wrong. At the time of people saying that, there were a total of what, 4 in the game, maybe tops. Let me think. So when the game launched, unfortunately, I guess we have to include Shark, huh? I feel like Shark Girl is an entirely different thing, but we still have to include Shark. We had Shark. We had Ellen, Nekomata, Ben, and Lycan. So we had 4. And they were split like that, to be fair. Ben and Lycan are more furry versus Nekomata and Ellen, who are just like have features of. But like, who would actually expect Shark Girl but is Big Shark? That's stupid. Catherine kind of still is waifu though, TBH, but also that Wolf Butler is definitely husbando. So, well, yeah, that's the thing. But she is full furry. Which ultimately is their only actual point. If they want to try to make a point about waifu versus like bestial, Lycan's not bestial, so that would be wrong anyway. But she is full furry as opposed to Nekomata or which I question whether Nekomata is actually a Thyron. I gotta look at the character again. Regardless, did you know that coffee's bad for some Thyrans? The newspaper told me. The newspaper had an article about how coffee might actually be dangerous to some Thyrans. Like Lycan, properly. Probably. Uh, Also, the people out there, I saw people talking about, the furry man is the most popular character, and I'm like, I don't believe you. I don't. Don't give your dog coffee, even if he's hot, correct? Give Lycan a box of chocolates as a veiled threat. Is that even veiled at that point? He's fun, though, by the way. He's a lot of fun. I like having him on my team with Ellen so that I can pretend to use him because he's cool, I guess, but why would I use him when I have Shark Girl? No, he is cool, though. I do like his kit. I think it's a lot of fun. And he's definitely a fun character to swap to within the flurry. I do run maid team because I got Ellen, Corin, and Lycan, and I run those 3 as a team. And then I've got Rat, And I don't remember her name. The android. I can never remember her name because it's Chinese. I have a really hard time remembering a lot of Chinese names. It's very unfortunate. Part of it's the romanization. I find romanization of Chinese names to be really, really bad, and it makes it hard for me to remember them. Um, yeah. But yeah, Android. I didn't get her, and I'm upset about it. I quite like her. Her kit's really fun. But anyway, Rat. Yeah, Rat. Rat I run alongside Piper and Lucy because I feel like it. Really, that's the because I like Piper and Lucy. Also, that keeps my synergy at a full 3 because I've then got Rat. Piper's great. I've got Rat's physical, Piper's physical, so they're synergizing with each other. Lucy's synergizing with Piper. Everybody's synergizing with each other, and then I get Beyblade when I want it. Yeah, exactly. I have main attacker ends up being Rat. I can parry into Beyblade once I've got a full charge of Beyblade, and I also have boar minions that I can throw out on field to get extra damage on top of Rat. It's a lot of fun. I quite enjoy it. And also sometimes I just hit things with baseball bat because I like Lucy and baseball bat. Also, I have Lucy's weapon, so Lucy's hair glows, and that's a lot of fun. I need to set up my presets properly. I basically have that team, Rat, Piper, Lucy, and then I have my maid team. And I need to set up my presets for them because I pretty much just run them together anyway. Beyblade. An old lady Beyblade. I really question. I really want to know how old Piper actually is. Because she acts like she's really old, and I find it hard to believe she's really old, but she's also clearly an adult. And I just want to know how much of an adult. Like, she's made statements about being, like, close to retiring, but I don't know. I just. Is she? Not me loading loot goblining with MiHoYo stuff. Oh no! Oh no, not the MiHoYo loot. You know what? I can do a thing. Hold up. I'm gonna. I think it's this one. This one works. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I've opened all my stuff anyway. I want my phone back. My phone's currently working as the camera. Now I can turn off my camera. Or I can get my phone back, rather. There we go. My phone is very hot right now. I don't think it liked being a camera for that long. I oof. Okay. Well, now I gotta go figure out what this loot. Piper may be 25 plus. She may be. She also might be 50. I don't know. wait. Wait, where are the where dragons where? Dragons how? Dragons by. Oh my gosh, I need. Oh my gosh, I need. I love them. Oh, yeah. It's basically ancient. Yeah, I know, right? That's so old. That's a Jumpty Dumpty. I need it. I want it. Gib. Gib. Where do I buy these, Lock? I want. I desire. I have a mighty need. I'm checking up on stuff I missed. I probably should not be checking up on stuff I missed, but it's fine. Yo, that's a lot of Genshin stuff. Pop up. I'm gonna try to gun for tomorrow. I get none of that stuff over here. Oh, that sounds fun though. I hope you enjoy hanging with Onefang. That sounds like a good time. I wish we got some of the pop up stuff over here, but we don't. I don't think we really have like the communities over here for it. So that's the one thing that sucks about it. That all kind of just happens over there. I do get the cryptids, I guess. I haven't really seen a lot of them myself, but I need to use Ambi more too. Ambi is one of those characters. I love her. Ambi is one of my favorite characters. I don't use Ambi ever. I just don't. She doesn't fit into my setups. But she's one of my favorites. She hums her own music and Borger. And yeah, that makes her peak. Speaking of fun things, Hololive merch in U.S. arcades now. Yeah, the One Up arcades. That is, and I need to do that. That's a event too, so that's a limited runtime for that. So we're gonna have to bust some heads. We're gonna have to bust some heads to get our arcade goods. It's like a bunch of the claw machine stuff though, and I don't like that. I saw something about coasters though, and I actually have an unhealthy obsession with coasters. So like need. Sadly no sumimasen for us Americans. Yeah. We don't need sumimasens when we bust heads. We should go. We should go. I wish to go. I enjoy the arcades. I wish we had cooler arcade games. And by that I mean I wish we had Cancole Arcade. And I want to play that old Gundam light gun game. I don't even know if you can find it anymore because it's an older one, but I really want to play the Gundam light gun game. The one that has you use a Zaku machine gun and the final boss is the Gundam. I want to play it so much. Got some silicone coasters that got some mild scorch marks on them. Yeah, that happens. That happens. I've got a bunch of like cork ones. Uh, I always need more coasters. So I've got two Magni coasters. I've got my Hareru coaster. One of my artists I follow is releasing some coasters soon, and I'm going to buy sets of those as well. I really like coasters. I also really like. By the way, all three of them are in use right now. I've got a Dr. Pepper on Hareru. Uh, Magni is holding my Liquid Death, and then my mic is on one of them to give it a little barrier between the actual like desktop and the microphone stand. My hope is that it'll absorb some sound traveling through the desk, but probably not doing too much. Ooh. Avoid solid metal coasters because the heat conduction may lead to condensation under the coaster. That makes sense. That makes sense. None of mine are metal. I've got some like tile coasters. I'm not sure if tile is technically the right word, but they feel like tile. Um, we've got those upstairs. Those ones are really neat. Ceramic? Probably. Ceramic sounds about right. They're neat. Heh. Disney Mirrorverse is getting shut down. Let's go. December 16th. Awesome. That makes me happy. The less exploitative gotcha games made by exploitative companies to suck my money, the better. Uh, yeah. Let me think. Coasters. I should release coasters. That'd be a lot of fun. I like coasters. I want to release patches and stuff too. You can never have too many patches. I really got to look into how to actually get like patches, how to make patches, how to get the ball rolling on that. I think it'd be cool to have a patch company. I like patches. I will make one patch, and people will love my one patch. Ugh. Well, I may go ahead and wrap up, I think. I have all my cards opened. I just gotta sort and put these away now in my own time, I think. Um, yeah. I don't know when I'm gonna stream next. I don't know what I'm gonna stream next. It might be Space Marine, actually. I think that's probably a good idea. I need to get around to that. Space Marine is good game. And then after that, I'll have to move on to Space Marine 2. I'm gonna have to find friends to do Space Marine 2 with, because I think the whole like the it is the whole. I think the whole like campaign is co-op, right? Because I know there's like I believe there's like two sets of campaign missions, but I don't know if they're all playable co-op or not. I'm not really sure. I'm a little bit confused about that. But I should find two people to play through Space Marine 2 with when I finally get there. I think that'd be really cool. But yeah. I think yeah, I'm gonna go ahead wrap up for today. It's getting late anyway, so for those who tuned in, thanks for tuning in. It was good to see some familiar faces again. I'm glad to finally do a little bit more with the channel again as well. It's been a while, so I really need to get back into the flow of things, to kind of figure out how to get a flow again with some of this stuff, because I kind of fell way too far out of it. But regardless, um yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. So thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time with whatever we pull out next time. I will see you guys then. Bye bye.